'Twas the night before Hatemas, and all through the house no gripes could be heard, no grumbles or grouse. The guests were all chilling, the music was tight, with nary a bad word to ruin their night. When down from the chimney a riotous din, the sound of 3 hate boys trying to get in. From Nick come the tech woes and clients appeased, some weird Game Boy elf all slathered in cheese. John dreams of homebrew and loftier goals, but just needs some privacy while filling the bowl. And finally there's Chris, a bundle of spite, a man of the people, but mostly just shite. There's no pissing Rudolph, no Dasher or Blitzen, just normalised bitching while socially distant. So raise up a glass and tuck yourself in. A regular shit show's about to begin.
Well, hello. Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, 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 ho. Oh, that's got it. That's got it.
That's much better.
Now.
Hello and welcome to a very Christmas episode of a Christmas show called Hate.
At Christmas.
Merry Christmas greetings. What do people say?
Greetings of the season to you.
That'll do. Let's go with that.
The earphoned person.
Yeah. Oh, headphoned one.
Yes.
I am one of your hosts, Tinsel John.
Nice.
I am the ghost of Christmas yet to be recorded.
Oh no.
And I am Chris Pringle.
Okay.
No, damn it!
Oh.
It's accurate. It's factually accurate.
Yeah.
I do like Pringles.
You do like Pringles, it's true.
Once you pop.
Please stop.
Scott, please leave.
For the love of... Legally, I must.
They've changed Pringles in 2 ways. One, they're thinner now, which I'm not happy about.
Are they?
And 2,
How's that
they've
possible?
rebranded Julius Pringles, the mascot of Pringles. I'm sure you knew he was called Julius Pringles. They've rebranded him, and he's bald now. They just got rid of his hair.
What?
Yeah, Google it.
Was
Google
he wearing
Pringles
a toupee
rebrand.
before then?
I'm not going to Google Pringles rebrand. That seems like some kind of activation phrase.
Yeah, it's true.
His name is Julius.
His name is Julius Pringles.
Yeah, I didn't know
if
that.
you remember, he was an oval rugby ball shaped head with big eyes and a mustache. But he also had perched on the top of his oval. He had little like 90s style centre parting curtains on top of his head.
Yeah.
Very fetching.
Yeah.
They're gone now. He is now bowled. He's totally
Is
Was
he
that-
sexy now?
no.
Yeah. Are we to believe that was a toupee, though?
Well, maybe
Now.
because he was kind of an old dude. I think Julius. So yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe
So
he's
you're saying-
related to the Monopoly guy.
Oh, there is a passing
There is a resemblance.
resemblance.
There is.
Got to think about that.
The Monopoly guy has a hat on, so I don't know if he has any hair.
Well, we'll never know, will
I guess
we?
we'll
That's
never
the
know.
problem.
Isn't he called like Pappy Moneybags or
Yeah,
something?
Julius.
Like the Monopoly
Julius
man.
Moneybags, I think he's called.
They're both called Julius. It's so confusing for the
It's
family
so
at
weird.
Christmas. Julius,
Maybe they're
yes.
brothers,
Oh
yeah.
no, not you, Julius. The other Julius, the Pringle one.
The Pringle Julius.
Maybe one of them hails from Latin America and is Julius.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
Julius
that
Pringles.
would distinguish between the two.
Julius Pringles.
Julius Pringle.
Pringle.
That would explain why Pringles has remained so culturally relevant and sensitive over the years with their like taste of the world. You know.
All of which were shit, and we only ever ate plain or salt and vinegar, let's be honest.
Well, they are the best. I mean, plain salt and vinegar. Maybe if you're feeling charitable, sour cream and onion.
or
That can
chive
kind of
or
like
something.
creep
Yeah,
in.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
It's like if someone turned up with a tube of pizza flavored Pringles, I wouldn't throw it in their
Is
face.
that a thing? Did they do that?
Yeah,
Oh, I haven't had
yeah.
those. Fuck.
It's like cheese and tomato
that
flavor,
sounds-
I'm
basically.
sure I've had those before. Yeah.
Anyway, this isn't especially Christmas, this Pringles discussion we're having. Unless there's a Christmas flavour, which I don't know about.
I don't think so.
There probably is,
roast
isn't there?
turkey or something.
Well, bringing it back to Christmas, the other product that has changed, of course, is Toblerone.
Oh, really?
Do you remember Toblerones? They've got bigger spaces between the triangles now. There are fewer triangles in a Toblerone, and there's more flat space in between.
It looks like a toast rack now.
Yeah.
So they're still triangular.
They're still triangular, but if you can picture a Toblerone, if you'll follow me on this journey, they used to be fairly frequent, the triangles. There wasn't much of a gap between triangles.
High frequency.
To save money and increase profits, they've put a bigger gap in between each of the triangles.
It's monstrous.
It was a big story at the time. It was a big story.
Monstrous.
No, it's not the notes. It's not the notes he's playing. It's the notes he's not
the
playing.
notes in between.
That's what. I should say I don't believe I've seen or interacted with you, Chris Ray, since our last episode.
No. Why would we?
Well, certainly not in. We lead socially distant, responsible lives nowadays.
At the best of times, yes.
But I'm getting like a strange feeling. It might be I have missed you.
Oh my goodness!
This is a heartwarming Christmas message.
That is a very Christmassy thing to say.
Yeah.
I know. I think my heart grew 3 sizes.
Yeah.
Call a doctor.
God.
The doctor. Somebody call the ambulance.
It's actually nice to see a bit of tinsel in your house, Rev.
Yeah. Well, there's a little Christmas separator here to my left.
A Christmas separator.
Because I've got like an office.
Keep Christmas. Keep Christmas away.
That's what my dad.
That's what they
That's
call
what my dad called it when he went to get cigarettes and never came back.
This is my Christmas separator, which separates the dining area from the office area.
I see.
And there's some
lights?
Christmas lights behind me here.
Listener, for the benefit of you, what he is describing as a Christmas separator is a line of tinsel going down the middle of his dining table, basically.
Yeah, a Christmas separator.
Everyone's got a Christmas separator. Whatever they want to separate.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
It gives me
You separate
a deep
from
joy
your
to see
dining area?
Christmas lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't go on very often.
My Christmas separator is actually electrified to really, really hit home the separation I'm trying to achieve here, and it's from, of course, Alice. Yes.
Are there actually few things in your house which aren't electrified?
That's very true, actually. To be fair, yeah.
I mean, as I record this, you're plugged into, I believe, the waste paper bin.
Plus, I'm
ambient electrical field.
I'm knee deep in water as well. Please, God, send someone.
I daren't move.
What I was saying, Chris Ray, before I believe our internet went a bit scrambled, is that it brings me a deep joy to see Christmas lights hanging off the shelf I hung in your house. Actually,
you did.
Did you hang that?
Shelf.
I didn't do a very good job. If I'm honest.
It's still up there.
It's still up.
Don't put fairy lights on it. My God, it's load bearing.
There's a number of photo frames up there, and we've hung the fairy lights on. But I don't switch them on just in case the shelf does collapse and
if you
sets
switch
fire to
them
the
on,
entire house.
If you switch them on, they'll get heavier with the light. Obviously.
Shall I switch them on?
No, they'll get
switch
heavier.
them on.
No.
I'm going to do it.
No,
I'm going to do it.
Oh my.
Listener, are you about to see the weight of a photon? Oh my God!
There you go.
It's held up. It's held up.
It's held up so far.
God.
It's really nice. It's really pretty. Well done.
It's magical. No, it's good. It's got a certain ambiance to it. I have. I'm up in the office right now, and I've got no Christmas lights up here.
Me too.
I've got just a sack of coal.
Just out of shot over here, I've got a mince pie, but it's been sat there for a while, so I don't know how.
Do you actually have a mince pie?
Just here. Hold on.
Oh,
it's in this box.
That's very Christmassy.
Ooh.
Look at that.
Ooh.
That's very Christmassy.
It's a whirl, a mince whirl, like a Viennese whirl.
Oh, hello.
Mince.
I love a Viennese whirl.
Okay, so wait, how it's the filling, but with like a whirly bit on top?
Let me show you. Hold on. Just get ready.
Please dazzle me.
Okay, so there you go. Look.
Oh, that does look good.
So it's like a whirl, but then in the middle there's mince stuff. Oh, it's all over my keyboard now. Oh no. Oh, it's electrified. Ah.
I was going to ask, and I think I already know the answer. I was going to ask where you actually stood on mince pies, Nick, because I got the impression maybe you didn't like them, and yet that pack did appear to be mostly empty.
Yeah, well, Ali and I have worked through that pack in my defence, but I very much like a mince pie. Absolutely. I object to mince pies that advertise a certain level of filling and then are quite have just like a thin layer at the bottom and an empty pastry case. That's problematic for me. But I like a mince pie fundamentally. Yes.
What you're basically describing is a kind of mince cracker,
Yeah,
essentially.
it's despicable.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. If you buy a Tesco value mince pie, they've just smeared a thin coating of mince at the bottom of the cavernous pastry building that they've erected.
Yeah. That's pointless.
Absolutely,
It's a pointless entity. I was helping Liz with some charity work recently, and I went to a food bank with her to pick up some food for the starving children.
Well, you were taking it away from them.
I was taking it away from the starving children, yeah.
Mummy, no, he's back.
They don't know how to cook that food properly. They would just gobble it all up. It's better with me where I can make something nice out of it. Right?
Oh, no!
So anyway, I was taking the food out of the hands of the children.
Yes.
And the people who ran the food bank force-fed me Morrison's mince pies. And I don't really like mince pies that much. But they were very nice. I enjoyed them very much.
Morrison's ones are
So
good.
they held you down and just kind of like cramming them,
Yeah,
like
pretty much, yeah.
loading a tennis
I think
ball
it
launcher.
was mainly because I was stealing food from the starving children, but I'd like to think that it was actually force feeding me mince pies.
So basically, their solution to the man who keeps showing up and stealing food from the orphan children was to force feed food to the man who steals food from the orphan children.
I think they were trying to choke me with mince pies.
Oh, I see. That's all they had on hand, I guess.
Because there's a weird legal loophole where that doesn't technically count as murder.
No. Not in December.
We were
and
feeding
not
him.
at that time of the day.
We were feeding him. He said he was hungry. We were feeding him. Oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, he's.
I reckon
dead.
that would stand up.
I reckon it would. Well, you couldn't stand up after that.
No, I couldn't. No, I was done.
I remember when Lucy and I first moved in together. This is years and years and years ago, and I moved into Lucy's house where she was living, her old family house. And I remember the very first night I moved in, she said, "Hello, darling. So glad we've made this big step together and you've moved in. Bye. I'm off to see some friends," and she went out. So
okay.
She left me alone in her kind of old family house, which was very kind of her. And I remember discovering that she had a skybox, which really cemented the relationship.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And I remember being a little peckish, so I raided the cupboards, and I think I found a pack of mince pies, which might have been there about 5 years or so.
Nice.
And yes, I definitely ate
Yeah, of course.
them, listener.
Well,
and
what time of year was this? I have to know for my research.
It may have been an April or an October,
Okay.
perhaps.
And also, I just get this feeling in my head, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think mince pies just last forever. Like that's the whole point, isn't it? They're like preserved.
They just get stronger.
Yeah,
don't
like
they?
a wine, like a fine wine.
Well, Christmas pudding never dies.
Exactly.
Christmas pudding. The older a Christmas pudding is, the better. Apparently,
if you like Christmas pudding.
if you like, which I don't particularly.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask actually because I do. So, Nicholas,
I don't.
You don't. Interesting.
Well, I'll eat it. Like I don't hate it, but I don't. I wouldn't opt for it.
The problem with Christmas pudding is I like it, but it's like you're only allowed one kind of like sanctified by the church day of the year in which you're allowed to eat it. And like by the time you get through the turkey,
Yeah,
and I'm thinking,
I know what you're saying.
If I get through my main and I can still move like comfortably, then I've failed.
I'm pretty sure they call this the Pope's Gambit. And
Yeah.
the idea,
now on Netflix.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, like the idea is that like, can you still eat a Christmas pudding after you've eaten your fill and do you strategize your roast Christmas dinner, meal time to allow for this? Because I like Christmas cake, which is also always available.
Big fan of Christmas cake.
Big fan
actually.
of Christmas cake, especially if you get a corner piece. Fuck.
I would rather have a Magnum.
Corner piece.
Corner piece, yeah. So my mum does I don't know if this is true for anyone else, but my mum does a square Christmas cake.
Oh.
So obviously you have icing around the edge as well. So if you get a corner piece, you have 3 sides of icing and marzipan. Ho-ho! Boise.
We see, Chris Ray and I were both raised in good Church of England primary school environments. So I don't know what kind of heathen square Christmas cake.
You don't even know what a square
scenario.
Yeah.
Never didn't even see a square until I went to college.
Everything's cross-shaped where we come from.
Then you went to university and all these people were like introducing you to squares on street corners. You're like, whoa, dude.
What is it about medieval people and raisins where suddenly like every sweet Christmas thing is just nothing but raisins, like mince pies, Christmas cake, Christmas pud. You're just drowning in it.
Yeah, I feel like back in medieval times, before we'd imported everything that's good in this country from other countries, which is where we are now, all we had was like woodland shit, so people just ate badger steaks and just harvested berries off of trees. And I obviously don't know what a raisin is, because I'm pretty sure actually that's a grape, isn't it? It's got a bit dry.
Yeah.
So, but either way, I feel like it's just sort of like hedgerow fare. It's just like, what's on the hedge tonight? Like, barrack or whatever you're called in medieval times.
It's like Christmas Day, or not Christmas Day, because we haven't invented Jesus yet in like
Brilliant.
Celtic times. But they're like they're like
Pagan Day.
Father, Pagan Day. Father, what's for not Christmas Day? What's for Deep Snow Day? And they go, well, we're all gonna go suck on some heather. I don't know. Like is a berry. Father, can't we store the berries so we don't have to suck them?
Heresy!
Right off the tree.
Heresy!
Behead him.
Burn him!
Behead him.
The thorns hurt my lips.
You'll have your badger tikka masala and you'll enjoy it. All right.
Speaking of which, Lucy pointed out that today, and I know you've marked it in your calendars, today is Saturnalia.
That sounds cool.
It's the Roman snow festival. We didn't have a lot of snow down in the Mediterranean, but it's the Roman winter festival.
What did they do? I'm going to look it up while you're talking.
I think they had like great big orgies and ate,
Nice.
and there's something about like it was one day of the year in which the slave owner would make dinner for the slaves, which I'm sure they appreciated.
Oh, I'm sure. Masters provided table service for their slaves, as it was seen as a time of liberty for both slaves and freedmen alike. Oh, that's nice for a day.
Is it to do with Saturn?
I doubt it.
Yes,
In what way?
he was a god, I believe.
Yes. Continual partying and a carnival atmosphere that overturned Roman social norms. Gambling was permitted. Ooh.
Oh. So everyone basically served their slaves a roast dinner and played blackjack.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Basically, yeah.
Oh, this is amazing.
I do like that, though.
They elected every Saturnalia. They elected a Lord of Misrule, who's also known as the Abbot of Unreason, who is an officer appointed by drawing lots during Christmastide to preside over the Feast of Fools. I think he was basically just in charge of like coming up with rules for like don't drink with your fucking dominant hand.
It's basically like the thumb rule.
He's like a frat boy who is like, I'm the Lord of Misrule. Everyone who points must drink. Moo!
Got to point with your elbows. Got to point with your elbows.
You must say the word drink. Ooh!
I do like that though, that if you'd been unfortunate enough to be like your village was conquered by a Roman army, you were sold into slavery, and you've spent 364 days in slavery to your master, and then you wake up on that next day, and your master's like, "Hey, here's dinner. Take it easy today," and you're like, "What's happening?" He goes, "Well, you see, today is Saturnalia, when we celebrate liberty and the freedom of all men. You letting me go?" No, mate.
No, I'm not letting you go.
You just get.
Imagine that if someone who's enslaved you comes and gives you lunch, you go, "What the fuck am I supposed to say to that?"
Yeah, I'm not going to eat that.
You treated me like shit all year. What the fuck am I supposed to say to that?
He goes, "No, today everything is turned upside down. Left is right. Today you're the master." Then I free all the slaves. No, you can't do that.
Don't be an idiot.
That's not in the spirit of it.
It's not really in the spirit, is it? It's not in the spirit. Now eat your potato that I gave you, and then get back to work.
Well, speaking of potatoes,
oh no!
Today, this being a very special Crimbus episode
It's a very, very spooktacular episode.
Oh, I have the ghost of Christmas yet to be recorded.
Ooh.
Because this is a very Crimbus episode of a show called Hey, a show called Christmas. We have jam-packed this episode with nothing but listener submissions. So
worth pointing out, we're already 15 minutes in, and we haven't mentioned any of this yet.
No, this is good. This is good, and we've only switched recording platform once.
Just once.
So
far,
it's going very well. Actually, better than usual.
Great.
In the spirit of Saturnalia, we've turned it on its head. So goodbye Skype. Hello
Yes,
Zoom.
and previously in a show called Hate, we were essentially the slave masters, and you, listener, were the slaves, having to listen without choice, without like input. You just had to listen to what we said, but not today. Not today. For today is Saturnalia, and today we reverse the roles, and you take control.
Today we are bringing you gruel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And here it is.
Our episode.
Here it comes.
Christmas gruel.
I know we won't be freeing you.
No.
No. I mean, this is quite fitting though, because we just started talking about Christmas pudding before we had a rare diversion. Normally we stay on topic.
It's very professional normally, yes.
And good friend of the show, PJ, writes in and says, in the spirit of Crimbus, Christmas pudding.
Oh.
Try and guess if this is a love or a hate. Ooh.
Well, you sent me the spreadsheet in advance.
Yeah,
so
I'm reading it. I can read ahead. Okay.
Oh, I see.
Look, this is like me creeping downstairs, taking a bite out of a mince pie, shitting on the floor, leaving some footprints.
In your own shit.
Anything to keep the magic alive for the kids, right? Okay.
Papa, has Santa Claus pooed on the floor as per usual?
Let me have a sniff.
Why, yes, he has, son.
Oh, it certainly smells Christmassy.
PJ writes, Christmas pudding. Ooh, let's set fire to some fruit and pretend we all like it. It's gross. Now, a delicious Yule log. That's the Christmas pudding of choice.
What is the most flammable fruit? Would you imagine?
What's
Would an orange be quite flammable because they use that to make sparks?
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, you can squeeze the orange juice and it makes nice.
There you go.
Ooh.
There you go.
Could be an orange.
I've had a classy cocktail where they took a bit of orange peel, turned it into a little coil, briefly set fire to it, and then dunked it in the drink, and it gave it like a
I had a
gasoline-y kind of
I had a
quality.
Molotov cocktail. That burned quite well.
How was it served?
It's probably an orange then.
Under Armour over.
Yeah, through my living room window. It was delivery actually. I don't like Christmas pudding as I've said, but I haven't ever had a Yule log. I've never had one.
I've had Yule log's nice. It's like a Swiss roll.
Ooh,
is that not? When did somebody decide that a Yule log is a thing?
yeah. Can you just?
Because
It's probably since Santa started shitting on the floor.
They had to make a dessert that looked like his turds.
Yeah.
But like as we've established, medieval people went hog wild when they discovered sunlight and raisins, and suddenly like they stopped having rickets, and they were like, we're gonna put them in everything. So mince pies, Christmas pugs, Christmas cake, the turkey.
Yeah.
Christmas is nothing but raisins. It's a goddamn raisin festival, and then someone.
I'm not having any damn raisins.
But what I mean, like somebody in 1992 basically looked at like all the excess Christmas like chocolate rolls they just had lying around, and they're like, okay, let's put a holly imprint on the top and call it a Yule
I tell you what,
log.
this reminds me of. This reminds me of the arrogance of modern musicians trying to do new Christmas songs, and I genuinely consider this a great arrogance. Like, if you buy an album of Christmas songs, it's all the same songs. It's been the same songs for the last 20, 30 years, right? And whenever a pop star, one of these young pop stars that we have now,
one of the MTV generation,
they go, or their producers or writers go, I'm going to write you a Christmas song, and it's going to be the next big hit, and it's garbage, and it never ends up on those those CDs.
But this is what I find incredible. Every year, a record company brings out another Christmas anthology CD.
Yeah.
There are no new Christmas songs.
Absolutely,
basically.
they are not. But also, I consider it the height of arrogance to think that you can add to that like pedigree of songs that are already there and everyone accepts are the hallowed Christmas songs. There's like 30 of them and that's it. That's all it is. And this Yule log thing is the same. Did someone just go, oh, I'm just going to come up with a new fucking Christmas dessert. We've got pudding. We've got cake. I'm going to, fuck it. I can do it. I'm just going to shit out a log and call it a Yule log, mate.
But it harks back to putting Christmas in front of things. It's like, oh, this chocolate log, how do we make it festive? Oh, I just call it like a Yule log.
Yeah, it's a Yule log.
That'll
now.
do.
Yeah.
I'm actually somebody. What are the the little one bite snackable Mr. Kipling kind of chocolate roll things? What are they called?
Oh, mini rolls.
Mini rolls, yeah. So somebody at a mini roll factory dropped a decimal place one year.
Yeah.
And they ended up with all these massive mini rolls, a maxi roll, if you will.
Roll, yes, that's it.
And like they're trying to talk Mr. Kipling down off the balcony, and they're like, "What are we gonna do?
Arthur, come down!
Arthur, this could make
You're gonna bankrupt.
Arthur, these are bigger. They could make us more money, Arthur. No.
And then an enterprising intern basically like just got a Sharpie out and drew like some holly on it. He's like, "No, we're saved.
Yeah.
It's a Christmas miracle."
Thanks, Lauren.
And that is the story of how our intern Skippy saved Christmas.
That does sound like a Hallmark Christmas movie that I would watch. The Saving of Mr. Kipling.
I was just thinking about what you said about like the arrogance of modern musicians trying to record new Christmas songs, and like, I'm just curious when, because that depressingly that does kind of suggest that creativity just in general died maybe in like 1988. Like, when was the last?
I think the last
Christmas song
the last
recorded?
one was Kelly Clarkson's, which is Under the Tree or something like that. I can't remember what it's called, but it's
The Darkness is
Oh.
probably one of the more.
Oh, The
recent
Darkness,
ones.
but I think Kelly Clarkson.
That's a good
might have been
one.
Newer
that's,
than that.
that's relatively modern.
That's a good one. But it's weird, isn't it? Because like the things we think of as like the classic Christmas songs, there was a shit ton in the 80s.
Yeah, most of them are from the 80s, I think, or early 90s.
But why did they all land?
I know.
Whereas like if Ed Sheeran,
Probably because it wasn't a flooded marketplace.
If Ed Sheeran thought
like
he
it
could
is
do
now. And at the time, they were all like, "Oh, have you heard? There's a new Christmas song out." And everyone's like, "What the hell is a Christmas song?"
Yeah.
And they go, "Well, listen to this."
Sleigh bells.
And then they play Johnny Be Good with sleigh bells, and everyone's like, "Brilliant."
I like the idea. It's like, I guarantee I could turn on the TV tomorrow, wait like 2 seconds, and get an advert for, now that's what I call Christmas 47.
And it's the same.
Featuring all, but it'll be like featuring all the classics like Shaking Stevens and Wizard
And Mariah Carey.
and Mariah Carey, and also Jessie J. And it's like
Christmas.
Christ, I can't think of something I would like less than a Christmas song by Jessie J.
Imagine like you go like, God, I'm so bored. I guess I'll see what's on Channel 4 tonight, and it's like a very Jessie J Christmas.
A very Jessie Christmas. There's Jess everywhere.
You're like,
And that whole show is just Jessie J talking about her year. And it's like,
it's
oh
been
God,
really shit.
My year's been so fantastic, and yours hasn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, good night, everybody.
and you're so bored that you'll watch it anyway,
Oh,
even
yeah.
though it's horrible.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you two are both. Neither of you is as you've admitted on air, a Christmas pudding fan.
No.
So where do you sit on the Yule log in general?
Well, I'm not. I don't like puddings that much anyway. I would rather have a Magnum or a sticky toffee pudding.
That's kind of a pudding,
Christmas
I would
Magnum.
say.
No, yeah, for Christmas though, I would rather than the Christmas specific puddings. I'd rather just have something normal. I'm not fucking.
I mean,
around.
as I said, I
So-
haven't had a Yule log, so I don't really know what that's like. So
It's just chocolate. It's just chocolate with extra.
I'd probably
chocolate
like it.
and a bit of icing sugar.
I'd
on
love
top.
it.
Come think of it, Nick, most of your favourite foods are cylindrical in some form,
true.
so I kind of imagine
But
a Yule log would go down
It
smooth.
would, but most of them have pork in them, and I don't think this has any pork in it, does it? So
No, it
it
should.
should.
That would be
It would
better.
make it better.
I think. Oh, is it Heston? I swear this is something Heston Blumenthal
Oh,
did.
probably.
Or maybe it was.
Oh, he's he's insane. He's certifiably insane, Heston Blumenthal.
He needs to stop asking.
There's too much bacon in my chocolate socks. Oh,
There's too much potato in my coffee.
This unicorn's made out of candy floss.
The waiter is actually made of meat.
Eat the waiter. Eat him.
Eat the waiter immediately.
We filled the waiter with helium, and now you must chase him with forks and eat him alive.
This liquid has somehow become a gas on its way from the glass to your mouth.
Science.
Whatever next.
Fucking science, isn't it?
Okay, well, the reason I bring up your old friend,
Professor
his
Professor
name.
Blumenthal.
What's his name? We were just talking
Heston.
about him.
Mr.
Heston
Kipling.
Blumenthal.
Heston Blumenthal. Yeah. The reason I bring him up is I feel this is something he's done because it's like
His fault.
mince meat, right? There's no meat in it. What's that about? And apparently
It used to have.
That is weird.
they used to have meat in it. So I think I've got like a confused memory. I may have seen him or some other TV chef try to bring meat back into a mince
Bringing
pie.
meat back.
I would rather have meat in a mince pie. Definitely.
Even if it also contained everything else that made a
Raisins.
mince pie.
Um.
Like raisins.
Yeah, I think so.
No, I don't think, no. I'm.
Can I not just have the mince and get rid of all the other shit?
You can have beef mince in a pastry case. And
Yeah, I'd love
and
that. That sounds
and you'll
great.
fucking eat it as well. You shut up.
Yeah. Damn right I will. It'll be more like a suet, but with meat in it.
Oh, you ruined it with suet.
There you go. What is it like?
Suet.
Just what was it about? Like I don't know. People in the
Sorry, I
1700s.
wanted to do it in the Emperor's voice then. Suet.
Suet. Do it.
Suet. Sorry, I interrupted there.
No, it's fine.
My
It wasn't that
apologies.
funny. Anyway, I was going to make some joke about Santa and his reindeer just shitting raisins everywhere because that's apparently all people cared about back
That
then.
is funny. That's a good joke.
It's not that funny. We can workshop it though. We'll make it
Okay.
better. The thing, I guess the only disconcerting thing about a Christmas pudding is I kind of feel that anything that comes in the same size and shape as a football, which you boil for 8 hours and then leave in a cupboard for 11 months, I do kind of feel that shouldn't be food. I feel you just make some kind of polymer.
I feel like it's one of those things where, we got it from the medieval times, but if we actually travel back to the medieval times and told them that we ate it, they'd be like, "What? That's not for eating. That was for
The hell are you
that was
talking
for
about? Time
that was for like
travelling
shoeing
man?
our horses. What the hell is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
That's for buffing our horseshoes. What are you talking
You're an
about?
idiot.
Jesus Christ, you ate
Yeah,
it?
You're not supposed to eat the raisins.
yeah. We don't eat the raisins.
You know, we should probably get a rig along because we've got
Yeah,
quite
we
a
should.
few
I was
hates
I
and
was
loves
about
get
to
through.
say there are a number of hates on this list.
Here we go. We got.
Oh, who wants to take
I'll
the
take
next one?
So we've got a
Go
hate
for it.
here from Andrew Stevens, friend of the show.
I think he's got a couple.
Oh, has he? Oh, is this more than one?
Yeah.
Okay, well, one of them.
I think-
one of them is.
Just go for it.
I
yeah.
hate work Christmas parties, and I'm glad they aren't happening this year. The work parties I've been into just turn into one massive bitching session about work.
no.
I'd rather not pay 30 quid for a semi-decent meal and a moan about work.
It sounds like that's not much of a Christmas party. I've been to decent Christmas parties over the years.
It is.
Yeah, the thing is, you've worked for the same company for like 15 years, and
that's
you're all a bunch of raging party animals.
Yeah.
So no wonder you have
we
a great
get
time.
we get pretty
You go
hammered.
for it.
Yeah,
You
we
go
get
all
shit
out.
done.
Yeah.
It is a weird one because I feel like there's a line to walk and it depends on who you work with, but it can just be you sit down and you have paid and then you sit down at the table and it's like, who ordered the duck confit? And I don't know, who has someone got an Excel spreadsheet that tracked who ordered what? Because I ordered this in February, and then you sit down and all you do is talk about work some more, and then you just want to go because it's the last day of work and you just want to go. Like, I want to go home.
Yeah, I mean,
I get that. That does sound terrible. To be fair.
I am Yeah, well, oddly enough, we had a big meeting at work today, and we also the big topic of the meeting was workload and what can we do to make people's
To
lives
increase
better.
Workload. How do we get more?
The irony being that I was too busy to
Oh, brilliant.
attend the meeting,
That's
so I was
outstanding.
so I just had it on in the background while I was working, and I feel the people who always talk up with suggestions on how to reduce workload are the people who have enough time
Yeah.
to talk about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but God, I mean, is there anything worse than that kind of mandatory corporate joy? That's just kind of
Yeah, I don't know.
you can't help but feel like a bad. Maybe it's just me. I think I end up coming across as very, very cynical at these kind of events. I don't mean to be grumpy. I just kind of like, I want to go home.
I feel bad. Like, this kind of applies to a lot of things, but I feel bad about being the guy, and maybe I'm not the only guy, who whenever I'm out doing anything, all I'm doing is thinking about when I'll be going home. Which hasn't been a problem this year so much. But, like, I do genuinely enjoy being out and stuff, but you sort of have to, A, talk me into being out to start with, and then, B, have to sort of keep me going. Otherwise, I'll just be thinking about, I could be home in bed. Like, I could be asleep, so...
I remember being out.
Yeah, what was...
those are the days.
I kind of...
Like, once upon a time.
Yeah, I think my feelings have probably reversed a bit on this, because I kind of feel the urge now to go out, which is the worst time.
Next year is going to be a very expensive year with all my
It's going to be
socialising.
destructive.
Can you imagine the day it happened? It's going to be back an alien. Like, you know... There's going to be people like fucking on every street corner. It's going to be wild.
The only way I can feel.
Someone's going to go to me at some point. Where do you live? I'm like, I don't know. I've been there for a while.
Here now, I guess.
Here. You'll get used to not telling people where you live, because if you do, they'll come there. They'll come to your house and they'll come in.
I just feel like, yeah, come on in, brother. Yeah, trousers are optional. Why not?
The thing is, people will come to the door like chuggers. Will say, hi, can I come in the house? And I'm like, well, there's no legal reason why you can't anymore.
No, so come on in.
So I suppose yes.
Yeah, would you like a drink?
Yeah.
I see you are also not wearing trousers. Good day to you.
Yeah.
We're going to lose so many Deliveroo drivers just to impromptu orgies. It's just going to...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's going to be wild. Yeah. Yeah, so...
Agreed.
Is there a
start
second
working on
part
your
to that?
core muscles.
He's got a second hate.
My advice to Andrew would
yeah.
be, just before we move on to the second hate, would be round up the people you like at work, go on the piss with them for one evening, and forget about everyone else.
Yeah.
Done.
So form
Job
a
done.
clique.
It'll
Is
create-
what you're
Form a
saying.
clique,
It'll
yeah.
create-
That's my answer to most
Yeah,
problems.
it's just Chris Ray's Christmas separator again. He's just putting down some tinsel and saying,
Yeah.
don't cross this line.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's
Exactly
fine,
that.
I guess. Andrew has another hate, which is a bit of a downer, this one, but I hate how hard it is to make a conversation. How hard it is to make a conversation with some friends at the moment. Can't do the been up to much because none of us have. It's just been work and home. Either way, we're staring at the same four walls over and over.
That is
That
true.
is true. The death of the anecdote, as I believe has been said on this podcast already.
I think we spoke about it in the last episode. John asked me what I've been up to, and bear in mind I haven't seen John for about 6 weeks now in
Yes.
person.
Yeah.
I've done fuck all, relatively speaking.
We were, oddly enough, we were all in the same room together, enjoying the relaxed social restrictions on the night they announced that we were all going back into
Indeed we were.
lockdown.
That was the first
How
time
ironic.
we'd met up in a long time as well.
It was,
Obviously.
and it was a lot of fun.
It was. I wasn't thinking about
Now,
going-
Chris
Oh, that was
Ray-
here, wasn't it? That was at this
that was
house.
right where you
It was
are.
indeed, yes.
Yeah, right now.
That's right.
Now, Chris Ray, you have possibly the busiest socially distant entertainment schedule of anyone I know.
Thank you.
Wasn't a compliment.
I believe you have a number of events on. You know, you talk to different people. You have
Yeah, but the thing is, the second lockdown, nobody could be bothered, and that I include myself in that. Like in the first lockdown, we all did quizzes
Yeah.
and whatever, and this, that, and the other. This time, I was just like, no, I'll pass.
Humanity really stepped up for the first lockdown, and we're like, we need to come together. We need to create that sense of human like bonding and intimacy. We need to do quizzes. And the second lockdown was like, fuck this.
I did have one night in second lockdown where I actually logged onto Zoom and had some drinks with my Jills lot, and I got so unbelievably pissed that I couldn't work my phone. That's true.
which takes. I have to say, I shouldn't applaud this, but that is quite impressive because it takes effort if you're at home
Yeah.
in your lounge.
It does.
Like there's a degree of role playing in your head to make it.
I haven't like the most I've drunk is recording this podcast with you guys.
I know. You see, when we started back in like the early 10s or 20s, Nick was you'd maybe have like
Teetotal.
half a shandy
Maybe less.
or something, maybe less, and then we'd have to carry him home. But like you were already cracking open your second
Third.
beer. Third. Wow, good God. Look what's
Very
happened to him. Yeah.
Somebody stop me.
That's what happens. Yeah. I mean, this is the first week in a good while in which I've consistently worn actual trousers rather than like lounge pants. You know what I mean? Just kind of like
Hero.
stretchy exercising pants.
Hero among men.
It is difficult. It is difficult. Like, it's weird in a way because it does occur to me that, I mean, like, I haven't seen the two of you pretty much in ages.
The most is
And
you
I
popped
think-
to my door on my birthday. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, just to like cough.
Yeah,
and
lick the
you know,
door
kind
handle.
of like.
Spit on
Oh
the
yeah.
doorstep.
Oh, you got it. Yeah. And I don't know. Like I said, I got this weird feeling in me where I'm kind of like, I think it would be nice to see each other again in person.
Sure.
Maybe
Probably.
Well, we should put something in the diary.
for when
June?
exactly.
Oh, I don't know. Who knows?
It is weird though, isn't it? Because like first lockdown, I mean, yes, I mean horrible situation. A bunch of people were obviously getting very ill. You know, that's serious. But like first lockdown, in many ways, I kind of enjoyed it. Like, I know that's not a luxury everyone had, but I quite enjoyed being.
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
Yeah, and like we were having, you know, a quiz every week. We were chatting to people we haven't spoken to in ages. It was a real kind of team spirit. Yeah, it's just funny what you were saying, Reb, about like the second one comes along and no one can be fucked.
Yeah.
Like we haven't done anything.
It's true.
No.
It's weird. We've got some more.
Shall I do the next
should
one?
we give Andrew some advice very quickly? Like how do you how do you start a conversation?
Start role playing, and then you can start a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. Then you can tell that story about that time you kicked that dwarf off a cliff or something. You know, hilarious.
Yeah, there's a lot of good television on at the moment. Or, well, not as much as usual, but there is some good television.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
That's another option.
Have a look. Put the television on. See if you find something good, and let us know. There you go.
Okay, great. Yeah, start a conversation with us. There we go.
On
That's,
Facebook in the
I'd
show
rather
called
not.
Hate Soapbox.
Yeah, come on.
Oh yeah, you can do that. You can do that because I
Go on,
don't do
go on,
that
Chris.
bit. I've got one from Sim or Sime.
Sime. It's Sime.
Who says
Sine
who
wave.
says, I hate the irresponsibility of the news.
Meaty.
Poor biased and agenda focused news is probably responsible for deaths in America recently and panic in the streets. I'm amazed it isn't criminal.
Yeah. I'm amazed it isn't criminal.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're trying to keep it Christmassy and light, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Woo!
he's not wrong though. I mean,
He's not wrong.
Oh God, yeah. I guess how can we make this Christmassy? Put some holly in it, I suppose. He's not
Holly's
wrong.
spiky though. It hurts, and it gets everywhere.
I don't want to talk about the news
No,
for too long.
I agree, Sim. I agree.
If I'm honest.
Uh,
I agree.
Okay.
Now let's move on.
Well, he does, however. He's got our first love of the evening.
We can't go on to that
quickly,
yet.
are we?
You sure?
That seems like a
Format
break.
is-
Oh, you just want to
Format
plow
is
ahead with the
king.
hate.
I just want to plow
Format
away
is
with the
king.
hate.
I'm trying to find some. But yeah, but you're right.
We'll
though.
come to his love. We'll spend some time talking about Sim or Sime's
whatever
loves,
his
shortly.
name may be.
But we must get the hates done, John. We
We have to
simply
get them
must.
out of the way.
No, but
We have to get them out
you
of
are.
the way.
I don't want to shortchange Sim, is what I'm saying, or Sign.
Sign.
I'm just saying, he's absolutely right, and yeah, be safe, people.
Yeah, take everything with a pinch of cynical salt. Yeah.
Do your own research and make your own mind up.
No,
That's my
don't
advice.
do that.
Don't listen to experts.
Yeah, but if you do a proper
Don't listen to
research,
experts. Don't read reports. Don't check statistics. Just go with your
Don't
gut.
trust everything
Go
you
with your
hear.
gut only.
Form your own opinion based on a smorgasbord of
Yeah.
opinions.
Don't trust.
or something. I don't care.
Don't
Do
trust
you want.
things. And stuff. I guess.
Do what you want. I've got a shotgun under my desk. It's fine.
Ultimately, anything I say about the news on I'm talking
we go.
about it now. Anything I say about the news on here is not going to change anybody's mind. The news is shit. The world's awful. Let's move
Fair
on.
enough.
And that's a journalism student talking.
So-
Yeah.
Graduate.
Sports journalism.
Well, yeah, sport. Well, I wanted to give you a benefit of the doubt. Like sport. Yeah, kind of like.
Football studies.
Specifically, football studies.
If you replace,
studies.
if you go over Chris Ray's body of work and just go find replace the word goal with war, suddenly you're like an amazing BBC correspondent.
Yeah, eat my war.
And now, live from the front in Iraq is Chris Ray. That was a blinding war, Steve. Just a real.
It would just, if you imagine that Alan Partridge sports reporting, it'd just be me going, war.
We didn't think he was going to do a war, and then a solid conversion from the left corner. Great war. Classic war.
You can tell from just that one line of commentary that John knows nothing about football.
There was
do
a
a
conversion.
A solid
From a
conversion.
corner.
Hey, can
You
you?
can convert a chance. Yes.
Thank you. Can you look me square in the digital eye and tell me that
Sure.
no sports commentator in the history of the game has said that was a solid conversion?
In football, I could probably tell you that. Yeah.
You can say with certainty that no one has ever said
Yeah,
that.
I think so. I reckon so.
If I broke my way,
I would say, and he converts the chance. I wouldn't say that was a solid conversion. That's like me. That's like me. On
Don't
the
fight
toilet.
this, John.
Oh,
Don't fight this, John.
That was a solid conversion.
Just let this go, John. You can't win this.
if I kicked the door,
He has
in
the higher ground,
to
John.
to the commentator's booth.
It's over, John.
If
I have the high ground.
if I subdued both the commentators and I picked up the mic and with no context, apropos of nothing, just said, "Oh, that's a solid conversion," I guarantee nobody
you would
would
be surprised. You would be surprised how quickly Twitter would
Destroy
jump on
you.
that.
Nobody would bat an eyelid. I'd be hailed as the greatest
Commentator that ever lived.
Yeah, the greatest. Who's a commentator? Dickie Bird. They say he's the Dickie Bird of football.
Dickie Bird was an umpire of cricket.
There we go. It's close enough. Anyway, we got another hate.
I'm glad we spent all that time on the news.
Got another hate.
Go for it.
Alice writes.
That's
a
a
nice
pretty name.
Alice.
Oh, that's a very pretty.
what a
that's
pretty
very
name.
pretty
Oh, nice
isn't
name.
it?
Alice writes, I hate Christmassy spirit
come
here.
on. Energy.
I hate condolence gifts.
Yes, now not
Like-
gifts, but gifts. GIF.
No, gifts or gifs
gifs.
as like really? Is that the most authentic, sincere way of offering your condolences? An animated, sparkling dove flying through space? Most of them are so poorly designed that they're barely legible. They just seem in such poor taste.
I agree with this. I'll tell you, I feel this way about Remembrance Day.
Okay.
Yes.
So when people like do hashtag lest we forget,
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what all these people, young men, fought for, that they might one day get a shitty
Yeah, it's
old
very
hashtag
cringy.
on social
It's
media.
like it's like the borders.
I feel like I've talked about
I
this
think we
before,
have.
actually.
We talked about the borders around your social media avatar as well, where it's like, oh yeah, and it's, I don't know, it's got like a poppy in the corner or something. It's just like, what have you done by doing that? What are you changing? What are you achieving?
There were some fine examples shared in our Facebook group, which if you're not a member, you should come and
Of
join.
condolence gifts.
We're a nice bunch. And I didn't really realise this was such a thing.
No.
They are awful. They are really gross. Yeah.
The idea that your maybe your best friend has just lost their mum or something, and so you're like, I know what will help soothe this wound that she's feeling. I'm going to send an animated picture of a minion with a tear running down its cheek. And then when the tear reaches the bottom, it just turns into a sad emoji and drops to the floor. And then it just says, sad, in like curls font. That'll make her feel so much better.
God, this is not worthy of a whole episode, but God, I fucking hate the minions. They are so...
Oh no!
This is where culture goes to die. It is abysmal. Oh my God.
Minions.
It is the walking, talking, living doll definition of the least I could do.
It really is. It absolutely is.
Yeah. I would rather you said nothing.
But, yeah, exactly. I would rather someone sent me a message that just said "thinking of you" or something
Yeah.
that they'd
That's
actually
worth
written
billions more.
than actually taken the time to look up a GIF and thought, "Yes, that's the
what
one."
that
That's
GIF
the one.
says anything better than anything I could ever say.
But it's like the only counter argument I would say is that like I get that it's super hard when for so long, your only option is to like something. So if someone goes like, such a tragic, such a desperately sad day. I apologize if I keep this brief, but we finally had to say goodbye to Nana today, and it was really emotional. 110 likes, and it's like
Thumbs up all over it.
that's not good. And now Facebook has like this little suite of like different faces.
They've got hug now, haven't they?
There's someone hugging a heart.
And heart.
Someone angry. There's one that's
Laughing.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a little emoji face shitting a heart.
I'll select that
Like
one.
really straining, really pinching out.
But
a heart.
even though you've got that suite of emojis, some people still just press like.
We lost Fido today. Shit emoji.
They're so lazy.
Yeah, because but this has become like the digital language. Because sometimes like you don't want to reply. Sometimes it doesn't warrant a reply. You just need like an acknowledge button.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like this. I'm just kind of registering that I saw it.
But even
and
like,
I remember
there's
it.
no.
It's like an opt-in thing.
Maybe there should be like.
when they want you to opt into
Maybe it should be
emails.
like a checkbox. You just tick it. It's just like, I have seen this.
I saw this.
Yeah.
But no, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to... Because, oh my God, yeah, because the journey. I'm just seeing the user journey where someone's like, yeah, we had to say goodbye to Nana today, and it was terrible. And guys, I can't talk about this right now. I've just got to go. And someone goes, oh yeah, GIF search sad or sorry.
Yeah.
And then it's like, as you say, it's a minion crying.
Yeah.
Or it's
Or it's like a clip from Marley and Me.
Donkey.
A donkey from Shrek. Yeah.
It's donkey like turning and walking away, and someone's put like in Arial font over the top, go like, thinking of you.
I want to make one, and it's just the final credits scene of the original Incredible Hulk TV show, where at the end of every episode he walked into the sunset down a road, and I'll just have that clip, and then just in the sky in sparkly lights it just says sorry.
Or it would...
I think in the future, if I had to do it with a GIF, like if I was forced to, it would be end of Revenge of the Sith and Darth Vader going no. That would be appropriate,
fair,
I think.
That probably would be the best one. I would be happy to receive that.
That'd
Very,
be
very.
It would be like... I think my GIF would be the bit from a never-ending story where the horse is being sucked into the mud,
just make me feel
and the little
worse.
kids try to pull him out, but but over the horse are the floating words, the right thing to say, and then like the kid pulling is like me. It's like...
It does feel a bit like that. Oh man, that scene! I'm not sure I could watch that now. Like, as a 35-year-old man, I think I'd probably break down if I watched that scene.
I've never seen that.
Don't say yourself.
I can't deal with it. I can't deal with any kind of animal, specifically dog, death in movies or anything.
Destroys
It's
me.
devastating.
Yeah.
Dogs, yeah, like pretty much any other animal, yeah, fine, give me a gun. But like dogs,
I'm just.
They know,
I'm gone.
like
Yeah,
movie
no.
makers know that if you kill a dog, you'll destroy your audience, like emotionally. They know.
killing a dog added an extra 10 years to Owen Wilson and Jennifer Aniston's careers.
Oh,
So,
don't! I was made to watch that film, and I just broke down.
I haven't seen that movie. I haven't
It's
seen that movie, and
awful.
I won't because I know I won't be able to deal with it.
Don't. Honestly, it's awful.
well, God knows, I wouldn't watch it for Jennifer Aniston or Owen Wilson. I mean, like, that's just film poison, I think. It just makes me want to die thinking about it. And they killed a dog in it. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's actually a crime against movies.
It's a crime against language,
Against
basically.
media. We've got
If every word involved in the script could kill itself, it would.
we've got another one here from Philip Gibbs, or Gibbo as we like to call him.
Gibbo!
The
Gibbo!
gibbon.
Sorry, Philip. I hate computer crashes. It disrupts everything, can get expensive quickly, and are overall a stressful experience. To be fair, though, I did make it worse for myself for forgetting to back up files. Philip.
Nobody backs up anything, ever.
The first thing I thought of then, when he said computer crashes, was like a computer pile-up on the motorway.
No, not that. No.
I don't know why.
Hate to see
my head just went there.
Hate to see
He did say, although he's forgetting to back up files, he does also add at the end, thankfully he didn't lose anything. So that's remarkable. He didn't back up his stuff, but he didn't lose anything. That's impressive.
How often do you back up your files?
Well, I use Time Machine, which is just an automatic function on my computer. So it does it twice every day, I think.
Oh, I see. And where does that go?
Well, it only goes onto an external hard drive, to be honest. Which, if there was a fire, that would also be destroyed. But if the computer crashes, I do have everything still.
That is true. Yeah. My computer died quite significantly. I was going to try and pick a month and guess when that actually happened, but
remember you telling us about
time is meaningless.
It
now.
is meaningless.
Yeah. I did find a very impressive gentleman in Cheltenham Town who saved my computer, basically. Wow. He rebuilt it. And I only lost 2 files.
What were they?
Oh, were they important files?
Yeah, one was about my diabetes medication and the other...
And one was that signed JPEG of me, topless.
Yeah.
Your
two most important files.
A high quality lossy JPEG of
artifact heavy JPEG
Nick
of
topless.
me topless. It's the best I've ever looked, and I'll never be able to reproduce it.
You've got to wonder if he just found it and decided to keep it for himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate Crash.
It's hard to argue.
Yeah, no, I agree.
There's nothing to like about them.
No,
particularly.
they are.
Ain't nothing good.
As far as
I
I'm
get very
aware.
angry when computers don't do what I want them to do. That's just well, I think everyone does, to be honest. But yeah, Crash is a bastard, no question.
Yeah, so Gibbo, our advice to you is
Get a better computer.
no.
Get a second computer.
Get a second computer that
Get a
won't
second
break.
better computer, Gibbo.
Yeah, so why don't we all just like unplug
Yeah,
a
man.
bit over Christmas, man?
Ooh,
like
get off the grid, dude.
yeah, like technology.
No,
man.
I'm gonna text more if anything.
Yeah, I just want to go. I just want to pack it all in and go live in a wood somewhere.
Just in a wood, just inside some
I
wood.
want to move to the woods. I want to live deliberately in
Yeah.
the woods. I want to pack
All
it
the people in the world who say, "Oh, I should unplug and I should go live in the woods," just do it. Honestly, I've had enough of you. Just go and do it.
I'm sick of reading your blog. Fuck off.
Stop talking about it.
That's
Just
the
do
thing,
it. Nobody wants
they'd
to hear
unplug
from
and they'd
you.
fuck off to a log cabin in the woods. You know they'd still update that blog. And I don't know how they're doing it. Probably like tapping into the sap in a redwood tree or something.
They'd look at the Airbnb listing. I'm going to go live in the woods, and they'd log on and look at the Airbnb listing and go, has it got Wi-Fi?
Because I do need to update my live channel. I'm just saying.
You just reminded me. I ended up watching a couple of videos by this YouTube channel where this guy had bought, because the world is insane, an abandoned ghost town.
Oh, yes. I watched this as well. That's so weird. How did we both watch the same obscure YouTube video?
Because clearly we have similar tastes, and maybe we should record a podcast together.
That sounds like an awful idea. The end.
Yeah, but... And I remember watching a couple of these videos, and it was like... It was kind of interesting, but at the same time, it was very social media-y, if you know what I mean.
It was such a bizarre thing, because I thought, oh, awesome. A guy's bought a ghost town in the Midwest, in a canyon in the middle of nowhere in America. This will be really interesting. The very fact that A, it's a ghost town, and B, the fact that this guy has bought a whole town. But it's just a very, very boring account of a man having a mental breakdown over the fact that he spent way too much money on something that is never going to be profitable, and minute by minute he's realizing the significance of his mistakes. It's awful. It's really bad.
Oh God, yeah. I clearly didn't watch enough episodes, because 2 episodes in, I was like,
did you see the fire? So basically, the most...
How did he start a fire? He's got no opportunities to start a fire. He's just up on a hill.
The most significant thing he had by buying this town was the fact that there was a 2-story, old-style, kind of classic cowboy kind of saloon hotel. That was like the pièce de résistance of this town that he'd bought, right?
Yeah, sorry, Rev, for a bit of context, this is way up in the mountains outside like Las Vegas or something.
Is this a documentary?
No, it's just a YouTube series.
No, it's a YouTube series.
Just a guy...
A documentary has more of a plot.
Yeah, This guy's just a guy with a camera.
But,
and
but it happened. But did it happen, or is this
it's happening? It's happening right
yeah,
now.
it's real. It's happening right
happening
now.
right
It is.
yeah.
I understand.
So this guy buys this town for, I can only assume, a small amount, but still a significant for us amount of money.
He said like his life savings and his mate's life
Yeah.
savings and like some investors.
And the plan is, I think generally, although he's very bad at explaining this, is that he wants to turn it into a kind of like historical amusement park. So not rides or anything, but like you can come to this town, he'll have restored it, and you'll be able to see how people lived back in like the 1800s or whatever it is, right? And the most significant part that he had left, because all the other buildings are kind of boring houses or mining buildings, was this hotel that was this incredible timber building, 2 stories, saloon doors, you know, preserved to the extent that if you did it up, it would look like you were stepping back into cowboy times, right? And he's proud of this. That's probably the best thing he's got. And then one video starts and it's just a charred crater because he left something on, like a generator or a fridge or something, and it malfunctioned in the night and it burnt the whole thing down, and he has nothing, and he's just crying.
Brilliant.
He's crying. I mean, obviously it's devastating, but it's also his fault, and he's just stood in the crater of a ruined
I
building.
mean, he has no one to blame but himself, does he? There.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
It's mad.
I mean, fucking hell. Like, I mean, Nick, you've mentioned in the past that your hate of the phrase "adulting." I think the moment you buy an empty town on the top of a mountain, where the nearest human is like 70 miles away, and you burn down the only building you have, that is entirely your fault.
I know. I mean,
What the fuck are
I'm
you
35
doing?
years old, and I have never burned a building down in my life. I've
No.
never done it.
No,
Not that I know of. No, sure. Like,
It's quite an
it's really
achievement.
quite, and especially when a lot hinged on that building, you know.
Yes.
So,
Like, Jesus Christ.
yeah, it's a remarkable TV program. Well, YouTube program. How did we get there?
Oh, I don't know.
It's not.
At
It's not
this point-
important.
I watched a couple of episodes and I realized like he's just bought this big village on the top of a mountain and he's just eating Pringles.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this guy's got his shit together. I can't wait to see what he does with this place. And it's just like there's wrappers everywhere. Like it's nothing but Snickers and Pringles.
Yeah. He's living in his
And
own
he's like,
film.
I'm here. Yeah. And then he started talking about the ghost he saw because a light turned
yeah,
on that
yeah.
wasn't there before. And I was like, oh,
Ooh.
fuck off. You know, just... Of course it's a ghost.
Of
Who
course, it's a
cares?
ghost.
Ugh.
What's next?
I have a hate here from Louis or Lewis.
Hey, it's Louis.
Louis or Lewis says, I hate 40-mile-an-hour road warriors. I don't mind if Edna needs to do 40 on a 50 road if she feels safe, but for God's sake, she better not do 40 in a 30 if that's the case.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. Crawling behind someone on a 50 for them to speed off 10 miles over the speed limit when you're slowing down is so infuriating.
Yes, 100%.
Merry
yes.
Christmas.
Well, maybe she's driving home for Christmas.
She's top to toe in tailback. Yeah.
Maybe Edna doesn't want to get home because the reality of her empty house is grimmer than
Edna bought
you know.
a ghost town in the middle of the Cotswolds,
Yeah.
and
She was
burned
involved
half
in
of it
in
down.
a 40 computer crash.
a 40-mile-an-hour computer crash in a ghost town. she bought.
Computer crash in a ghost town up a mountain.
Yeah.
Or something.
Edna, for God's sake, don't you have somewhere to be? Yeah, but I don't want to be there. I don't want to be there. It's too bad.
I mean, as a motorist myself now,
Oh.
I sure do get infuriated by my fellow motorists and some of their errors.
All of them.
In fact, me and Liz had an argument with a bus driver last week.
What, actual argument face to face? Right.
Yeah, well, from behind my windscreen.
Cool.
yeah, when you pulled him out of a wreckage.
Yeah. But he was on our side of the road, because we were in separate vehicles, because Liz had to drop off a minibus, and I followed her to pick her up, and what have you. So the bus had gone onto our side of the road, and he was like, he wasn't apologising, he was very aggressively gesticulating to us to move down to another street, like turn
Right.
left ourselves down another street. And I'm like, you're the one who's gone wrong here, you get fucking back, I'm going fucking down there. And we ended up having a row from behind our windscreens. It's quite good fun.
Cool. Yeah.
I mean, that's a fair point, and I respect your right to argue with a bus. But at the end of the day, the bus is quite big.
very-
Yeah.
Much
Oh
bigger
yeah.
than
I did. We did have to turn down that street in the end. We didn't really have much choice because he couldn't reverse. But I felt the need to make my point because he was acting like we had made a mistake, which we hadn't, because he was on our side of the road. So I felt the need to say my
Defend
piece.
your honour.
I mean, it had literally no impact whatsoever. But
Sure.
you know,
You did your
it's
bit.
nice.
Now-
It's nice to vent sometimes,
Oh, sure.
which is why I come. Which is why I come on this
I should
podcast.
say, I should say that I did in recent months get caught
Oh my
speeding.
goodness!
Jonathan.
And I had to attend a speed awareness class.
Do you feel more aware of
So-
speed now?
Constantly, yeah. I live in constant terror of the motion of the atoms around.
Did they
me.
start with speed equals distance over time? Is that wrong?
They did, and because I knew that, they let me off,
And then everyone clapped.
Yes. And
Everyone stood up, and then in the background. It was like, "Love, lift us up where we belong." As John walked out triumphantly.
Yeah.
Oh well, I have to say that there was a moment because it was online, and the blessing was that because of COVID. The blessing was I didn't have to go to a training session in a place miles away. So we're all online. We're doing this training, and honestly, it was a bit of a laugh. And and I have to say, I should say in my defence, I wasn't driving recklessly, and I just kind of. I came off a 40 into a 30 and didn't slow down in time, and there was a guy with a gun, and he got me.
Oh God!
So I hangs up. I screwed up. There was a bit where the guy running the exam was going like, "Okay, so what does it mean if you see like this sign?" I'm like, gotcha. He goes, "What does it mean if you see this sign?" It's like, "Oh, well, you're on a dual carriageway." What does it mean if you see this setup or whatever? It's like, "Oh," he goes, what does it mean if you see blue square signs?" And we're like, "Okay, you're on a motorway." And he goes, "Great." He goes, "What does it mean if you see nothing but grey signs?"
You're in the UK.
And I just said, "You're going the wrong way down a motorway." And he was like, "Yeah."
Oh.
And he was like, that was the joke.
Oh,
And in like a perfect world, it would have been like,
yeah. So that was his idea. That was his idea of a motoring joke.
yeah. And then the Love Lift Us Up will start playing, and like, and he goes, "You've solved my motorway riddle.
You may now speed for all of time."
You've earned the ultimate pass.
This has never happened before." King of the road.
So was it just a one-on-one with this guy?
No, there were a bunch of us in the sesh, so to speak. It was all right actually. It was a bit of a laugh.
Okay.
I mean, I could have said that I was driving to my grandfather's funeral, which was technically true.
Oh.
That probably
but
would have worked.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to play. No, I don't want to play that game. They don't. When you get caught speeding, they don't go, "Hey, you naughty fellow, you've been caught speeding, and you've got a couple of options now." They go. They don't bury the lead. They go, "We're going to prosecute you in big letters. We'll see you in court."
me.
And then under it, they're like,
But you can avoid this.
But you can avoid it if you come to a speed
You're a
awareness.
really nice boy. Yeah.
So they scared me. So I was like, okay, let's just do the speed awareness training, and I do feel considerably safer as a result.
Oh, good. That's good.
It did have some value.
There you go. It did. I've got a hate.
Yeah, go on.
I've got a hate from Imogen,
Friend of the show, Imogen.
Imogen writes.
It's funnier. It's funnier. It's always funnier. Always, no matter the circumstance, to say something slightly wrong. So you can still identify what you're saying, but it's slightly wrong. That's always the funniest way to do everything.
It sounds like Imogen, not Imogen.
Imogen, yeah, Imogen. It's funny. It's funny.
It's funny. It's very funny.
Very funny.
Imogen writes, "I hate workplace, corporate, family-friendly Christmas joy. Stupid jumper competitions and making up funny songs, except no one can actually be funny because it all has to be workplace appropriate. It's just more jumping up each other's asses. I want to die, not fun
You
times."
should put that on a banner.
I should say, Imogen went into greater detail in a couple of comments in this thread, and it gave me great joy because she was saying a scenario where a team, in this spirit of enforced joy, where maybe some Christmas tunes are kind of pumping out over the speaker. You've all got a hat on. It's like, there you go. He's like, and we're all gonna break up into teams, So you Jeff from HR and Florence from operations, and we're all gonna get kind of moved into little teams. And it's like, okay, the challenge is, and this is a genuine challenge that Imogen described, where you had to rewrite the lyrics to the 12 Days of Christmas.
That's a big job.
To make a kind of 2020 kind of relevant kind of thing.
Oh no.
And
I would just make every day the number of doses of vaccines required.
5 doses of
5
vaccine
doses
required.
of vaccine, 4 doses of vaccine, 3 doses of vaccine, 2 doses of vaccine, and 1 giant vaccine. Done.
Beautiful.
well,
That's 2020.
Done.
What really made me relate to this though is that Imogen said, she said in the group she was in, she suggested 2 racist uncles as a
racist uncles.
That's really good.
which is really good. That's so good. And she said, and everybody just looked at her like utterly like kind of stony faced.
My God.
And then like Karen in the back goes, what about 5 face masks? And then everyone just loses their shit laughing as if that is the funniest thing in the world.
Karen,
and you
legend.
feel like an alien.
Yeah.
You feel like an alien. Like it's
All Karen did was
I don't-
force
I-
face masks into a song, and suddenly she's the fucking hero.
And again, I kind of feel this a little bit. Like it is kind of like, it is very bizarre when you have interests outside of work which in no way gel with the workplace environment. And it's like, it's all right for you, Rev, because you're a man of the people and you understand football.
People's
You
champion.
can relate to everyone. People salt of the earth.
Shit.
Oh, see, it's funnier to say it's slightly wrong.
It's funny to say
It's
it's
funny.
wrong. It
It's
was just
funny.
a joke. I don't think you're scum, really.
Or do I?
Or do
but-
I?
But my
No,
point
but
is,
seriously,
I
learned
don't know.
I've learned the hard way that when it's Monday morning and we all go, how was your weekend? I've learned not to say, oh, I recorded a podcast and I did some editing on a new graphic novel I'm working
Absolutely.
on. I'm thinking about applying for some Arts Council England funding. It's a little bit up in the air. I'm trying to work out some vagaries of the contract, and then they've just their eyes have just kind of glazed over. And I've learned not to say that, so I always just go like, yeah, it's all right. Watch a bit of TV, dig some DIY.
Watch Bake Off, didn't I?
And say, I watched the big game, and then people go, which one? And you'll be like, I don't know.
The big one. Fuck off.
The big. What's the main one? The main game.
Don't question me.
Gillingham versus Peterborough.
I completely agree with you, John. Like I had for years, and in all the places I've worked, I've never said what I've really done when anyone's asked me, "Oh, did you have a good evening?" or "Did you have a good weekend?" or whatever. Because if I told them that I was coding my own Game Boy game, they'd just be like, "Isn't that a console from like the 90s? Why did you bother with that?"
But it's like Lovecraftian horror. The idea being that like the human brain has no framework to describe these monsters from outside space and time. They don't even have words for it, so they can't comprehend it. So if you go like, oh yes, no, I was working on a new combat mechanic for an innovative tabletop RPG. It's like, and they're just like,
did you watch Bake Off?
Thank God you watched the Bake Off.
Yeah,
but it's weird, I've had this a few times, and this is why I just clearly don't relate to anyone in the office, because it's like they go, hey, you like those comics, John, and stuff. What have you been up to lately? You do a bit of art, don't you? And
you
I go
like the Beano.
Yeah, well, And I'll share like a link, and I go like, "Oh yeah, we're working on this," and I share this link to. I'm just gonna blow our own trumpet to this incredibly like professional looking actual book, and nobody, and it's just like
Yeah.
you just hear
They
like
don't have any words. They don't know what to say to process what.
No, and a tumbleweed just kind of like rolls across the office, and then like Deborah down in like Deborah down in financing goes, I do commissioned kind of charcoal sketches of people's pets, and everyone goes like, yeah, Deborah, fucking A, she's such an artist. I'm like, I know artists,
Yeah,
I know
actual real
artists.
artists who charge for their time. Oh man.
And it's just like, no, and it's just like, oh, it's like we're talking in different languages. So I just don't talk now. That's why I just don't say anything.
If someone asks if I've had a good weekend, I just say yes.
Just keep walking. Just don't break stride. Yes, done.
It's like,
But also, if you said no,
yeah,
you can't say no.
can't say no.
If you
Either.
say no, you might get a nice GIF.
Yeah, you might
say,
get
no,
a
I've not had a
condolence
nice
gift.
weekend. They'll send you a nice GIF.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll get a gif of a minion
Yeah.
going like, "Don't worry, be happy."
Sorry about your weekend, dickhead.
Rev, how do you relate to the common
How's
common
it done?
man? How do you make that work?
I
Watch football.
discuss things that I think they want to hear.
Like,
Okay, what does the average man want to hear?
Here's the money I owe you. Would you like to go for a pint? And here's that other bit of money I owe you.
and also, how do you feel about the rise of Emperor Palpatine?
Yeah.
In the new.
I
trilogy?
try and keep it light, and I talk about the how Emperor Palpatine was a clone all along, but we didn't actually discover that in the movie. You have to read the novelization to actually find that out. And then I talk about the football.
And then you talk about football.
Yeah.
Talk about the fucking football, don't you? So that's the thing. That's the language of the people. It's
I
fucking
don't.
football.
You don't know where you stand with me. That's the problem. I could be talking to you about the intricacies of cloning in the Star Wars universe, or I could talk to you about Man United v Arsenal at the weekend.
This
You
is
don't
the
know what's
thing.
going to happen.
This is what's fascinating about you as a human being, Chris, is that
Thank
despite
you.
the fact that we joke about the fact that you can
Baffling.
talk to the common man, which partly because of football and ball related sports, there is a major assistance that you have there. But
Great conversion.
with that, great corner conversion. But with that comes a deep and potentially very nerdy knowledge of Star Wars, which far eclipses anything that John and I even come close to possessing. So
No, I mean, I used to think that being on the lowest rung of kind of like the social ladder, I kind of felt that like liking comics meant that like things could only get better. And then in discovering you, Chris Ray, and your love for Star Wars, I finally feel a degree of superiority.
Well,
because I can go.
you like comics before comics became popular, John. So if anything, you got in on the ground floor.
comics aren't popular.
Yeah, I'm basically the Renaissance.
Comics never got popular. The movies got popular.
Well, the
Comics
movies
still aren't
made
popular.
them popular, but there you know
It didn't
it
work,
amounts to the
though.
same thing. It all makes sweet profit.
It's true.
Do you feel there is an overlap? There's like a Venn diagram where I feel football fan meets Star Wars.
Not really.
I feel there's a. I think it is. I feel like Star Wars is the one geeky thing which the average guy is allowed to like.
John is basing
It's like
it
everyone
on
gets
nothing.
one thing.
Well, that's true.
No.
That's true of the Marvel movies now, though. I like
Yeah.
broad nerdy stuff, not like really specific stuff. Very broad.
To be fair, this ties perfectly into our next hate from Alexander Heritage.
yes, so it does.
Because he fucking hates nerds online.
Yeah.
He hates gatekeeper nerds who ruin the space for other people. He hates gamer nerds who think that because they play a game for 300 hours, they're somehow better than new players. And he fucking hates nerds who have become the bullies who let their insecurities boil over and spill out instead of working on growing into better people. Online gatekeeper nerds are the fucking worst.
Yeah.
I don't appreciate the potty mouth, but I think the sentiment is
Indeed.
is in
And
the
I
right place.
think it plays into nicely what Chris was just saying, which is that yes, everyone knows who Captain America is now because of these movies. And I think that's awesome because now I can talk to my dad, someone who didn't like comics because he said he didn't know how to read them, his words. we now have a chat about Tony Stark and Ultron. You know, like that's happening now. So that's pretty cool, I think.
Yes,
Yes,
it is.
It
No,
is in a
I
way.
agree. It's hard to disagree. The comics and games and movies and nerddom, it should be for
should
everyone. At the same time, I do remember sitting down to watch The Force Awakens, and a couple of bros next to me, the moment Han Solo walked onto the screen, they all started doing that kind of like,
fucking Solo
like,
in it, mate.
what's that thing where you like you
Yeah.
kind of like you flick your hand and like snap the
Even though
fingers kind
that
of
shot
thing?
had been in the trailer as well.
Yeah.
Worth pointing that.
Yeah,
Well, bros don't watch
I think
trailers.
Yeah.
I did kind of die a little bit at that point, and I don't know if that says more about me than it does about anyone else, because they were enjoying themselves. It's like, more power to them.
Love
But
Harrison Ford.
I don't know. I get flashbacks to, I don't know, secondary school. It's like a kind of bro alpha male kind of. Like, I like football. I like burgers. I like
Shots.
booze. And I like Han Solo.
I will give you that I don't believe in gatekeeping, and I don't like gatekeeper nerds. I completely agree with Alexander here, but I will give you the fact that we had our lives made miserable for the things we were interested in when we were younger, and now the very same people who would have done that to us are now talking about Tony Stark and fucking the Empire's rise and the New Order. Do you know what I mean? Like that does grate me a teeny tiny bit when I had like a compass jammed into my leg because I wasn't cool enough to play football, and that's no word of a lie. I tell you, I came home with wounds because of my nerdiness at school and my inability to connect with another human being.
So when like Daryl Peters, whatever his name was, when he jammed that compass into your leg, he's like, "Sup, nerd?" And he leans in and goes, "Hey, brah, I'm really sorry about this. I mean, I care deeply about your love of the original canon, but for me, I'm more of a grey Jedi timeline sort of dude. And you know, we can all debate what the Darksaber means for the greater continuity, but right now, man, I've got to kick your fucking ass." You know,
And it starts just spraying beer around.
Yeah.
Lads, come on.
So, but other than that,
The Sith is an inconsistent concept. Yay!
there can only be two. Fuck off.
There can only be two, but no otherwise. Yay!
But other than that, I totally agree that I hate gatekeeping.
it's so weird, isn't it? Like, and I've got to say, like, even when Disney, the Disney hyper mega global conglomerate makes their latest announcements, it's all very exciting, but I also kind of die a little bit inside because I'm just kind of like, do we have too much? Like, as quote unquote nerds,
No, we deserve this.
when is enough? Like, maybe we should let it go and like.
To be honest, John, I think if your line of thought is that right now, the next 50 years are going to be awful for you.
Yeah, you're in for a nightmare.
But like, maybe the geeks won the cultural war, and this is the terrible world we've created.
I agree.
Where it will be nothing but Marvel adaptations for the next 50 years, and
This is what we have wrought.
yeah, this is the dark reality that our actions have brought about.
Cool.
I have another hate here.
Yeah, go on.
This is actually Christmas related.
Oh, thank God for
awesome.
that. Save us.
I'm glad someone
And
stayed
it's
on
from
top of it.
Liz. That's a very pretty name. Isn't
Oh,
it?
that's a pretty name.
Very,
That's
very,
It's a
very pretty.
nice
That's
name.
That is
yeah.
a nice name, actually.
Very
It's a
pretty
pretty
name.
name. Yeah,
We have three hates, in fact, here. So I'll read them out. I'll read them all out, and then we can discuss them as we wish. Okay. Number one is turning the fairy lights off on the Christmas tree. And I'm going to dispute all of these for the record. Number two is Secret Santa when the budget is more than £5, so you have to actually think about it.
Oh,
And
yeah,
number
totally. I
number
agree with
three is advent calendars. Now I happen to know.
Whoa!
Yeah, no,
Whoa! Whoa! That's what's
Bear
this?
with me. This is in the room at the moment. They're slagging.
We're
off
booing.
the
Tell
advent
her.
calendars one.
Tell her we're booing.
How did she get into your house?
I don't know. She keeps getting in.
You need to stop
Advent
doxing
calendars.
yourself.
Liz hates advent calendars because you can only have one chocolate per day.
Well, I mean, you could buy other chocolate.
And I know for a fact that Liz has had multiple chocolates from an advent calendar on a day before. I just happen to know that. These are things I happen to know.
Hey Liz, I've got a great solution for you. Buy 10 advent calendars.
Buy 10 advent calendars.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird that, like, if I buy... What's that, Liz?
I've got earphones
I can hear
and
it.
I can't hear what she's saying.
Okay.
She can write it on the message board.
Okay.
She can post on Facebook.
Why is it, right? If I buy a pack of, say, Cadbury's Miniature Heroes, other chocolates are available. If I buy that and I eat an entire pack in one sitting, I am, as the advertising has taught me,
a hero.
Quite
right.
And yet, if I buy an advent calendar for a fraction of the price, and I open each window in order, in turn, in the span of 10 minutes, and eat every chocolate, I'm going to hell.
That's heresy.
Why? Yeah, that is heresy. Why
That's
is
capitalism.
that?
You've entered into a contract by buying an advent calendar that you won't.
A contract with
that you
God.
won't be a
Yes.
you won't be a disgusting shit pile of a human being.
Lies make baby Jesus cry.
Yeah,
After
the only person you're letting down is yourself, and if you break that rule, then you're just a disgusting human being in your own fucking admission, and you'd admit it yourself.
But the ultimate weight of cardboard and chocolate is pretty much the same.
Oh, sure.
So if I bought, and I'm kind of like, I'm making a hypothetical argument because I do know deep down that this is a sin and this is gross. But if I went to Homebase on Boxing Day and bought a 50 discount advent calendars
Homebase?
because they weren't it. Yeah, I bet Homebase has got because no, they're not good. God knows they're not good.
Were you trying to think of home bargains and you just went with Homebase?
No, I guarantee that Homebase would have some shitty advent calendar.
They've got outdoor.
That seems unlikely.
Outdoor.
Like, it's barely chocolate. It's mostly just kind of sawdust. But for like 2 pence, on Boxing Day, you can buy a now pretty much worthless advent calendar. Yes. If you went and bought 50 of those, just locked the door, and just in turn counted down every day, but in like a minute, and just kind of downed them. That's a good chocolate ingestion, but you are going to hell.
Oh yeah,
probably.
But my most significant point here is not the punishment that makes you regret what you've done. You know that you should, as you're doing it, you're weeping because you know you shouldn't be doing this. You're breaking a contract that's deeply inlaid into our instinctual human fabric. Don't do it.
That makes me want it. That makes me want
the
it more.
The taboo makes you want it more. Sure, yeah, but. I also want to hug a cactus. I'm not going to do it.
Oh, you should. That would be good audio.
This is why people develop weird sexual fetishes, because it's over the Christmas month, over December. That's sanctified ground. That's where advent calendars. Yeah, it's fine. This is the dark pleasure we all engage in. But if you see anybody eating a Boxing Day advent calendar, you're like, oh god.
How do you feel about this?
How
about January sales? You buy 12 advent calendars, and you have one for every month of the year, counting down to next Christmas. How do you feel about that? That's your excuse.
I'm personally okay with that.
Okay.
But I do kind of feel that maybe the sin accumulates over time.
It's a combo.
That's my worry. Because I'm already kind of just destined for hell. I think we've established that. Because of my actions and the things I say. However, I feel like it might amass, and after 3 months of eating advent calendars, when Gog's eye is closed, basically, Gog's eye is only open in December. Yeah. If I eat an advent calendar a month between January and March, I feel like at least 2 loved ones are also coming to hell with me.
Yeah, that's true, probably.
Yeah, I'm just gonna dispute one more of these hates before we move on. Turning the fairy lights off on the Christmas tree. Now, this is at night when we go to bed, and I'd rather not have the house catch fire.
Well, no, because we've heard about that.
We mentioned at the top of the show, we got these lovely fairy lights behind me. I have threatened to rip them down if they stay on at night.
Have we
Oh.
wandered into a violent domestic altercation here? that
Are we-
should
are
be
we
aware
seeing-
of?
Would you keep lights on overnight? Christmas lights?
God no. God no. You'd
John
be mad.
says.
You'd be
We had,
mad.
in fact, we put
no.
this on Facebook to a vote on Facebook last year, and I won hands down.
Well,
so
I will
Ex-
just say that LEDs don't generate any heat. So
Well, that's what Liz says, but there
Well,
are electrical
you-
properties to them.
You can prove anything with science, Nick. And facts. No,
But
I'm with Chris
I'll prove
Ray on
myself
this.
wrong
Like,
by saying that the transformer at the end that plugs into the mains, that will get hot. That
Yeah.
will still get hot.
There you
so.
go.
this is part. No, I'm 100% with you,
Thank you.
Chris Ray. And anyone who thinks differently is dangerously
When
radically
the fire
wrong.
brigade turn
Like,
up at your house and they ruin Christmas by extinguishing your whole house,
Hey,
come see me
Hey.
then.
hey.
Hey,
I was playing devil's advocate. I turn my lights off. When
yeah,
I go
you
to bed.
got to turn your lights off. I'm turning these off as soon as we come off air.
I
no,
hate Christmas.
I'm with you because the day my house burns down and the fire brigade turn up, the chief fireman's going to run up.
Chief
And he's going to
fireman.
go, John, what's happening? And he's going to go, John, what's happening? I'm like,
chief-
all right, Jeff. Yeah, no. And he's going to go, fairy lights. I'm like, yeah, fairy
Fairy fucking
lights.
lights,
Yeah,
right.
he goes, where's your wife? Because I didn't rescue her. She thought differently.
She
and
wrote
deserved it.
With all due respect, John, the chief fireman isn't coming to your house. He's got bigger fish to fry
yeah,
than your house.
Not John.
Oh,
Love.
chief fireman, John's house is on fire. Oh, I've got bigger things to worry about than John's house again. Has
Not
he left
John
his Christmas
again.
lights? Has he left his Christmas lights on? Right, I'm not going down there again.
No, got him on speed dial.
Yeah.
I've had him come in and talk to the wife. He's done a PowerPoint presentation about the day.
Your day at the moment, you've got like 1 o'clock speed awareness course, 2 o'clock fire awareness course, 3 o'clock wind awareness course.
Yeah, the only difference is it's the same it's the same lecturer every time. He just puts a different hat on.
All right, John. All right, mate. How you doing? Yeah, good to see you again.
Back
Yeah.
again.
How's the
All right,
dog?
Jeff. Yeah, back again. Yeah. Just imagine like every day you're tuning in for the optional fire safety training course around fairy lights. It's like, all right, Jeff. All right, John. Back again. Doesn't hurt to be safe, does it, Jeff? It certainly doesn't, John. It certainly doesn't.
I mean, I just love it. I just keep coming back for it. I just love it.
I'm getting like loads of like gold stars. Like, I'm collecting like stickers.
The irony is that they're highly
what is the-
flammable.
Yeah.
He goes, and what is the biggest killer of all your loved ones? John at the back. Is it fairy lights, Jeff?
It is. Gold
is.
star.
John,
Gold star.
John
love
gets
having
it.
you here, John.
John gets it. Gold. Come on up, John. Gold star.
All right. Then.
I'm not going to dispute the Secret Santa one because I've never done a Secret Santa.
I mean, I think we need
Have
to
you
we need to
not?
get into the loves. She's got 3
Yeah.
hates. She can't.
No, that's fine.
She
I think
can't
we should get into
dominate
loves.
this.
Go on, let's bring some loves.
Before we do, I'm going to grab a beer, but you carry on. I'll be back with you.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
fine.
I need it.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't get enough beer.
He bails out on the loves. I see.
Carry on. Carry
fine,
on.
fine. I'm glad we got this sheen of
Yeah, no, it's
professionalism.
fine. Yeah.
We Nicholas, hello.
Hiya.
We have a love. It is from a good friend of the show, Sim, who writes, I love being 35.
Ah.
It's a magical time where I am the perfect age. I can complain about how young people are too irresponsible and don't know the meaning of work, and I can complain about old people. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I agree with this because I'm 35 also, and I think
gasp.
what I like about it is you can complain about how young people are too irresponsible, but I feel like you're also still young enough to be irresponsible yourself.
Yes, I mean I am now. I do forget sometimes, but I am now 30.
You don't look a day over 36.
Middle age.
Thank you. I am very aware of my age in a weird way. Like I'm definitely now at a point.
I'm very aware of my age, despite the fact I definitely just forgot it.
I can't remember it.
No, but like I have. I've recently had a haircut.
You
look
looks
great.
very nice.
You look
Looks
fucking
very
amazing.
nice.
Thank you.
look fantastic.
Well,
We definitely had noticed it.
Before then, I had my hair was quite overgrown, my beard was quite overgrown, and it was mostly white. My beard,
Okay.
Goodness.
like there is a great stripe of white going down the middle of my
Delightful.
beard, and so I think I'm very aware that I am now an older gentleman.
Sure.
and I also kind of hurt all the time.
Oh yeah, been there.
Like, just kind of sitting is painful. So I guess I'm in the prime of my life, and this is good.
So we're told, I guess.
Maybe it gets better when I hit 35. I'm very close.
I'm not very aware of my age.
I think it'll get just progressively worse, frankly.
I feel like I everything does hurt, but then also like I broke myself a lot when I was younger with stupid acts, and so I feel like a lot of that is self-inflicted. So it doesn't feel especially like that's come on because of age, although it probably has, of course. But it doesn't feel like that. And then I'm not getting anywhere near as many white hairs as I would actually like, because I actually think that's a fucking rad look, and I wish I had some white, but I don't have any. Well, I have one, I think.
So what are you doing better than me? Because I've seen the way you eat. And I would imagine that
there's your answer.
I would be a little better preserved.
No, there's your answer, John. More sausage rolls. So
gotta get that fake pork.
You've just
in.
got to
It's
get
the
the
only
pork
way.
in. You've got to pack the pork between the gaps. You've got to get the pork into your system and block the gaps where the aging happens. You block those. You know those ads where you see like oil of Ulay or whatever it is, and it's like, smoothing out the wrinkles? Pork. Get the pork in the gaps.
Now,
Plug all the like sweat glands, and then you'll never sweat, and it won't be able to affect your skin or anything like that.
Exactly.
And you'll be just plug it with pork.
Just
You're
plug
done.
it with pork. Hashtag plug it with
Well,
pork.
I mean, Chris Ray, you are positively glistening now.
thank you.
Like, what's your secret?
What's your secret?
Hair
How do you keep
straighteners.
young?
I use hair straighteners.
Also, he's 22.
I actually have, and this may surprise our listeners, I have very curly hair. Very curly
It's
hair.
purely audio medium.
I look like Leo Sayer normally. But if you look at my profile picture on the group, you'll see I have very straight hair, and that's because I use hair straighteners.
Straight hair, and they de-age you.
They do de-age me. I look younger now than I did when I was 16.
Okay.
Because I used to shave my head and I looked
That is
awful.
true. That is true. You looked a bit like one of the Mitchell brothers
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
back in the day.
And I have a lopsided hairline as well. And everyone assumed I would go bald as I was getting older. But it's just I have a lopsided hairline. One side goes further up than the other. It's weird.
I haven't noticed that.
Well, I would say, Chris Ray, that you are looking, and I mean this quite sincerely. You are looking quite dapper.
I'm wearing a collared shirt today because I had a conference call at work today. So that's why I wouldn't be otherwise, and I couldn't be bothered to get changed.
Like I said, I had a haircut over a weekend, and that's done wonders for my general self-esteem and probably hygiene, because I was growing my beard out, and I just felt and looked a bit gross because I hadn't really done anything since September, like at all. And I was just like, I'm not getting dressed properly. I
feel a bit like that at the moment. Like
Yeah.
I haven't cut my hair in months, and as a result,
I'm getting a haircut tomorrow as it
a
goes.
big old mosh. But anyway, 35, I guess.
Yeah, Sim also says, and this is quite sweet, he says, I love being a dad. My daughter Alice is just amazing.
That's nice.
That's nice.
That's Christmas.
And none of us can relate to that because we're all disgraceful.
There's nothing really I can say to that. I'm a father to a dog, but I don't think she's my biological dog.
No, she is.
You're a father.
Oh.
You're a father to at least 128 unique listeners.
True.
Yes,
Yeah.
at least.
Well, that's
At
less.
least.
That's less father and more slave master, as we discussed earlier. But still, it's a similar relationship, I guess. Yeah.
Who wants to take
I'll take the next one.
love?
So this is from Jack Gunyo, who is resident archivist of a show called Hate.
God, the Gunyo.
The Gunyo.
The Gunyo.
And he says, I love solving an earworm.
Oh.
I could remember a particular tune from early teenage years, but never knew the name of the song. Then heard it a couple of years ago in Fever. I know.
Oh, I remember Fever. What a club.
And for the benefit of the listener, Fever was a petri dish in Chelmsford.
Yes,
fact.
that's probably the best way to put it. I marched to the DJ box and demanded the name of the song, Yomanda, synth and strings, for those who are wondering. It took me nearly 20 years, and it was so satisfying to have learnt what the song was. So I agree. I can agree with this.
So we can ascertain from this comment that Jack Gunyo of indeterminate age is at least old enough to have been clubbing for 20 years.
Indeed. Yeah.
If I had an earworm for 20 years, I'd have ripped my fucking face off. Honestly, if I have one for about 15 minutes, I get wound up.
Well, Jack is on his third face, actually. So I think that's
Oh,
probably...
well, that makes sense.
That makes sense. I had an earworm for a good few years, and then I remember it came on the radio when I was just driving a very short car journey, and I was like, shit, I need to know what this is, because this is the song, and they're going to say it, hopefully. Because that's the thing with the radio. You don't know whether they said it before, and you've already missed it.
So you took your hands off the wheel.
Yeah, took my hands off the wheel and just let, like, Jesus take the wheel.
Jesus.
Jesus, take the wheel.
So I pulled over and just waited for the song to play out. And it was Apollo 440, Ain't Talking About Dub, just in case you're wondering. And now I never forget, because I can even remember where I was when I pulled the car over to remember to learn that song. So it's all locked in now. I'll never forget it now. Never.
I remember there being, this is like 7 years ago or so, there was a Gillette shaving ad.
The best a man can get.
That's the one.
That would play on YouTube's. And there was like a 10-second hook from some song, and I was like, oh, that's a good song. What is it? I had to do some intense googling before I discovered it was by a French DJ group called C2C.
Oh, that's C2C.
And the track was Down the Road, and it is a what you might call a banger.
It is a banger, actually.
And I felt a deep joy for having found that. But it's weird because I don't get those kind of earworms in the same way that I used to now, because of the internet.
Yeah, that's the problem. If you get it that wound up, you can just look it up,
Yeah.
can't you?
Yeah, I hear like everything on Spotify anyway.
Yeah.
So if I hear like a song, which I'm like, oh wow, that's really good, you probably catch like a little bit of a lyric. So that's enough to Google.
Yeah.
The mystery's dead now, basically.
Yeah, I was
Should
humming
we do
along
Oh, go on.
a Christmas song, and I was like, I'm pretty sure there's a Christmas song that says "Jingle Horse" in it, and I was like, that can't be right. I've misremembered that, so I typed in "Jingle Horse" Christmas song, and it is in Jingle Bell Rock. One of the lines is "Giddy up, Jingle Horse." I don't know what
jingle my jingle.
Don't know what a jingle horse is, but fuck, it's in there. It's in there.
To be fair, that was a late afternoon in the writer's studio, and we're like, we got to throw some shit in. Anything will do.
To be fair, Jack Gunyo has a second love, which we don't.
Yes, I was about to say,
he
has a second.
But very much in tune with my heart, which is I love pigs in blankets.
Big time.
So decadent and unnecessary. Wrapping pig in pig. Why not just make a thick? He spells that with 2 C's. A thicker sausage. but altogether, tasty as. And he's absolutely right. A double pork combo.
I did pigs in blankets for tea tonight.
Oh!
Yeah, big time.
Oh!
You're lucky it's December.
Yeah. Well, it's only because it's December.
That's the thing.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
The thing is, I've got a lot of time for a pig in blanket.
Yeah, I love pigs in blankets. Big time.
I do also feel that this is maybe one of those situations where, like, maybe we don't deserve this.
Yeah.
You know, like we have a food substance which is so far removed from the original animal. Like, you've got to slaughter an animal, cut it in half, send one off to be processed in one facility, send the other one off to be, we're going to ham this, we're going to bacon this, and then you bring it back together again. I think kind of pig god kind of sheds a
Where
tear.
did a pig in blanket originate? Do we know?
Just a cold pig.
Cold pig.
Yeah.
Cold.
Makes
Probably
sense.
just a cold pig.
Makes
pig,
sense.
What other loves we got?
Shall I do one?
Come on.
Do you want?
I've got one here from Andrew Galvin, or Jalvin. Who says, I love...
Galvine.
Galvine, yeah.
Yeah, Galvine.
Who says, I love making end-of-year lists, or lists.
Lists.
I fully realise that no one else cares, but it pleases the logical part of my brain. I'm reading, I'm not saying this. And gives me a real sense of completion. So
Okay.
he's given us a list.
Oh, no, these recommendations.
And it says...
you know how I feel about this.
It says apples, oranges. Oh no, it doesn't say that. It's a shopping list.
Oh, very good.
It's a different kind of list.
Oh, I see.
It says. I assume these are his favourite things of the year.
Yes, I think so.
One can imagine. We can
So
extrapolate.
it says film Parasite or
yeah.
Parasite.
That's a good movie.
Album Laura Marling, Song for Our Daughter.
There you go.
And
Listen up.
song The Big Moon, Your Light. You're all welcome, he says. Thank you.
Cool.
I've not seen or listened to any of those things, so I can't comment.
Yep. Well, I've seen Parasite. It's good.
I've not seen that.
Have either of you felt compelled to sum up your year in some kind of...
My year has been mainly spent in the house.
I think, like Andrew says,
Yeah.
I fully realise that no one else cares. I think
God.
that's been the main motivator for why I haven't done this.
I'm not very good at this. I'm not very good at this sort of thing. I can barely remember what media I consumed like 2 days ago, let alone...
The thing is,
'Cause
Andrew is one of those people who has premium taste in things. So it's like, if I was some significant influencer, then sure, my opinions are worth something. Like Andrew Galvine here, who is obviously like somewhat of a connoisseur. My favourite film would probably be like, I don't know, fucking like a cartoon.
Can I just say something quite alarming to you at this juncture?
Oh no.
Probably the best film all three of us have seen at the cinema this year is Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well,
By default.
mainly because it was the only film we've seen.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait. So that came out before March.
Yeah, I think so.
It did. It was if you remember,
February.
it was Valentine's
Day. It was Valentine's Day.
It was Valentine's
Oh my
Day.
god, that was like a month. That was literally a month before the happening.
That's the last time you went to the cinema was to see Sonic the Hedgehog.
Jesus. Do you remember The Witcher?
Oh, that was good.
TV
that was
series?
really good.
That was this year as well.
I think that's another reason I don't do these lists, is because I lose track of what has actually been this year and what may have been other times. It's like, oh yeah, like I love that movie, Inception. When was that? 2010. Oh.
Oh yeah. I got my Spotify. You know, Spotify does like your 2020 wrap.
Oh yeah, I haven't
gives you
read
like
mine
a breakdown.
Yet.
It's weird because the song which I kind of devoured, like the song that I just like had on repeat like 400 times in a row, came quite late in the year, so it didn't make it quite into the top 10. So it's like your top song of the year was, you know, Shawaddy Waddy, and I'm like, really? I don't remember listening to that
Followed
much,
closely by
but...
the Sonic the Hedgehog movie theme.
Yeah.
Followed closely by the commentary track for the movie. Yeah.
But basically, I'm going to check these out because Andrew knows better shit than I do. So, well played.
Oddly enough, I've never done anything like this until August this year, when my year, you know, that 1 second a day thing?
Yes, I recall that.
The culmination of my year of recording a second of video a day, of my 33rd year on this blasted hellscape of a planet. And yeah, I mean, that was kind of magical. That was weird, like kind of putting your year in a neat little pocket like that. But frankly, it's actually getting terrifying of how quickly a year is moving.
Especially this one.
Like it's spinning by, and the older we get, the smaller a proportion of our lives a year is.
It's very depressing if you think about it like that. Though.
Maybe we don't.
It is though. It is depressing. Sorry. No. It is growing.
We're in
up.
the love section. Remember?
Yeah. You're bringing us all down on Christmas, John.
On Christmas Eve.
I've got one.
Oh, here we go.
Who's this from?
This is from Imogen, who writes, I love rapping.
I'm rapping.
I'm rapping.
Yes. Obligatory rapping joke. I could spend hours picking up my colour schemes and ribbons and bags and making it all neat and cohesive, and it all matches the tree. It just makes me so happy. Then someone just rips open all your hard
Am I
work.
right?
Am I right?
I'll be honest with you. If I can wrap a present without throwing it at the wall, I've done well. I am garbage at wrapping presents.
I'm well good.
Oh, I'm not good at all.
I distinctly remember, this is probably one of the lowest points of my whole life, when I was living with John and Lucy, and Ali, but Ali wasn't in the room. That wasn't the lowest point. That wasn't specifically what was the lowest point. And it was just before Christmas, and I was wrapping a present on the floor of the lounge, and John and Lucy were sat on the sofa, I thought, watching TV. And I was making an absolute scientific hack of this wrapping. And I looked up, and you were both looking at me. like with such a look of horror on your face. And I think, John, you just went, "Do you want a hand with that?"
I have no recollection of that at all.
And I was like, "Oh no, it's as bad as I feared."
It's fine. Legitimate concern if you're wrapping like a wine bottle or
Just
something.
put it in a bag.
That's a nightmare. Give me a cube though.
Oh.
Give me a
cube's
boys.
quite easy. I had to wrap up an old style tankard with a bottle of Guinness in it the other day, and my god, it looks dreadful.
Yeah, spoilers by the way.
Oh yeah, Merry Christmas, John. Merry Christmas, Nick. Damn it.
God, what a nightmare. Jeez.
Very good. I hate rapping. I absolutely hate it. It's the worst. I don't, even if I was good at it, I think I would hate it. Like there's nothing to be enjoyed there. It's a job for those who delight in the anal and the detail and the intricacies of something that is, as Imi points out, going to get ripped to pieces. So let's not bother.
Yeah.
Let's not bother with it.
I love it.
No, just before you talk about how much you love it, John.
Oh, fine. Yeah, no, I'll wait.
Do you remember any of the things as they were when they were wrapped at Christmas in your whole life?
What? Remember how they looked when they were wrapped?
Yeah.
No.
There you go.
Yeah, but it's easy, you Buzz Lightyear gets a lot of credit because it's like, oh, look how happy he made me. No one remembers the effort that went into rapping.
No. Because no one cares.
And it's a silent art. It's like if you're doing it well, nobody notices. You only notice shit rapping.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Then what's the point in doing it? It'd be more memorable if you did it rubbish.
There we go. Argument for our way of doing things.
But no one wants a bad Christmas memory. No one wants a Christmas separation. Daddy, wait, will you come back once you've bought cigarettes? Shut up. And it's like no one wants that.
Is that your best impression of a terrible father? Shut up.
Why don't you shut up, you little
shut up, child.
Shit,
Would you say that the greatest sin of wrapping a present is to tape any part of the paper to the present itself? Is that the greatest?
Oh, I would never do that.
Yeah, no, I think if I was
I would never do that.
If it were mid-April and I were chowing down on my 4th Advent calendar and God is barreling down on me,
like the eye
Jesus
of Sauron.
and his angels behind him, Father Christmas, fists at the ready, just to beat the shit out of me. If at the last minute they espied someone taping, it's Megatron with gun firing action, and I'm just going to put a little bit of tape here to secure the paper, they would just do a 90-degree turn, and I would be spared the wrath of the heavenly choirs, who would just go and decimate the poor bastard who dared put tape on that fine Mattel product.
Yeah.
So that's a yes then.
They'd be right to do it.
And they'd be right
They
to
would
do
be
it.
right to do it. You're right.
I've read the Bible. I get how it
So I
works.
guess we can agree with Imogen to that degree.
Who's got a love?
I've got a love.
Bring us home.
Alexander Heritage,
Final
if
stretch.
you remember, brought a hate, which was about gatekeeping nerds. His love is, I love being a nerd. I love watching ridiculous movies. I love talking about who could win in an imaginary fight between Master Chief and Iron Man. I love knowing bucket loads of useless trivia about Star Wars. I love playing Dungeons and Dragons. I love playing Masks. I love Power Rangers, and I love movies. Being a nerd is fucking brilliant.
See, it's a good time. It's a good time to be a nerd, and it will be for the next 50 years as things get increasingly broad.
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. Can you believe it was a year ago, in the before times, when we had a great big Christmas role-playing session
Oh my
around
goodness.
my house?
When was that? Was that Boxing Day?
It was after Crimbim, wasn't it? It was like the 27th. It was the 27th.
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah,
One of them. One of them.
I
One
do
of the
remember that,
in-between
and
days.
it was very good, and it feels, I can't believe it's that long ago.
Yeah, who can believe? Who could believe? Yeah. What are we going to do for Crimbus in
Crimson.
general? Like, are we gonna have some kind of like Zoom?
Well, I've
Crimbus
suggested
piss
a
up or
Christmas
something?
booze up pre-Christmas,
Yeah.
which is frankly what this is turning into. But
Woo!
I think I need that. I think that would be a lot of fun.
yeah,
Works
I'm
hard
sure we
at the
can.
moment.
I'm
I'm
sure we
working
can
hard.
organise something. Seeing as
What?
I'm not going anywhere.
Stand outside somewhere and just drink.
Well, I was thinking more kind of like on like Zoom or something.
I guess.
That
Yeah,
seems
I
a bit
guess.
irresponsible what you're describing.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
If I stand like 10 meters away from you and just chuck mulled wine at you from a distance, I think that'd be fine.
Yeah.
Jesus, this guy. He never used to touch stuff. Now he's just.
Yeah, but the mulled wine,
He's mulling everything now.
the mulled wine will boil off any virus or anything. It's the ultimate thing.
Hey,
to
why
drink.
don't you? Hey, why don't you mull over
Oh,
your
very good.
your social responsibility? Eh?
No.
Eh?
No.
Hey, Rev.
Yeah.
What's that final
Oh,
love?
go on then. I've got
5G.
some loves here from Liz. It's a very
Oh,
pretty name, isn't it?
that's a
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
name.
it's a
That's
nice
That's a
name,
very
yeah.
pretty name. And she, like Andrew Galvine, has done a list of Christmas loves.
Oh, here we
Which is
go.
nice, isn't it?
Ooh.
Her favourite Christmas song is Step Into Christmas.
Step into
By Elton
Christmas.
John. Now, I cannot emphasise enough how much of a dickhead I think Elton John is. However, this is an excellent Christmas song, and I love it very much also.
I have no strong feelings about Elton John as a
Oh,
person.
he is a
however,
dickhead, though.
However, I think this might be my favourite.
Yeah, it's a
Christmas
great song.
You know what I love about this Christmas song is that the first line in it is "Welcome to my Christmas song," and I don't think
to
there's
my
another
Christmas
song
song.
out there that welcomes you into the song as though it's like
Yeah.
a room. I think that's very,
Yeah.
I think that's very
Yeah.
exciting to talk
It's a very
about.
shrewd observation.
It's also a very aggressive, dominating move from Elton
Yes.
because before you know it, you are in his Christmas song, whether
Whether you like it or not.
whether you ask. Yeah.
Thing is, I mentioned on the last podcast how I like to throw the F-bomb into like songs where it's not appropriate.
Yes.
And I do it quite a lot for this song. So I'm like, it's fucking Christmas, yeah, it's fucking Christmas, 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 it's fucking Christmas. I just sing those lyrics.
That's better.
Now, our mutual friend, Richard Holton.
Oh no. You say mutual.
Our incidental friend, Richard
Long time
Holton,
acquaintance.
had a habit back in the day of compiling a Christmas mix album.
I think I'd say that's one of the most worthwhile things he's done.
Yeah, in a kind of in a pre widespread internet in a pre Spotify day, he would take several medium quality MP3s of popular Christmas songs, and he would arrange them on a writable CD.
I see.
And he would distribute those
Okay.
with some badly. Well, it was not even Photoshop. He did them in MS Paint with
Well,
some
actually,
bad
I'm
covers.
going to show you behind the curtain here. I did that picture.
Did you
Yeah.
really?
I mean, it is terrible.
It's pretty
Yeah.
bad.
It's early
Yeah.
days of cutting and pasting.
But like any,
Well, I would say-
Christmas music anthology, I presume it always had the same songs.
Yeah, it was very much the songs you would expect to be on such an album.
However, I feel you can add a degree of class to your Christmas anthology with a few smart inclusions.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, this is my open question to the table. How do you jazz it up a notch? I feel Elton John's Step Into Christmas as a good gateway drug to making it a little classier.
Ooh.
And I think the thing that elevated Holton's selection was he would have the Pretenders with 5,000 miles or whatever.
That's the Proclaimers.
No, the other one is like hook up with boo do 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 10,000 miles.
Oh,
that one. Remember that?
Yeah,
you see, yeah. No, stop it! They'll demonetize us. Yeah, but like 10,000 Miles by the Pretenders. That's a classy one.
Okay.
Okay.
And the House Martins. That's an nth level. That's a galaxy brain choice.
And then the theme to Batman Returns, I guess.
Yeah.
And then you
I'd
have
put that in, yeah. And then the bit where Rey's walking up the steps at the end of The Force Awakens. That music.
sure.
Is there snow?
What's your favourite Christmas film, John? Because
Yeah,
Liz
John.
is the Santa Claus.
Oh.
I only saw that once at the cinema.
Did you
back
know
when it
there's
first
a
came out.
trilogy of Santa Claus films?
I did.
I
know
did
that.
also know that,
The
but
second one is just so ghastly, it's brilliant.
I haven't seen any of the others. I've seen the first
They're
one.
they're all on Disney Plus.
Great.
Have you seen them? Have you seen them all?
Only this year, like literally this week, I watched the second two.
Oh, are they? And they're both bad.
The third one I didn't care for. I fell asleep. The second one I thought was so bad it was good.
Oh,
If that makes sense.
maybe I'll watch that then.
I would. It's quite
there-
funny because they make a double of him, like a life-size toy, and the life-size toy version of Tim Allen looks unbelievably scary.
Wait, is it played by Tim
Yeah,
Allen, or is it?
So he's the villain, and at the at the end of the movie, he's dressed in a very very communist-looking Santa outfit.
Oh, nice.
It's blatant
Okay.
how much they're trying to
So,
allude to all that.
Communist Santa.
Communist Santa
who is the bad
basically
guy.
is the bad guy, claiming all the children should be on the naughty list and get coal. But he is also played by Tim Allen because he's a toy version of the original Santa Claus, also played by Tim Allen.
Yes.
But he learns as he goes along and he sticks to the rules too rigidly and ultimately thinks all the children belong on the naughty list.
This is very high concept. This is like sort of the third law of robotics.
I'm probably over explaining it.
It sounds like you.
So one can only hope that the real Santa will come and restore us
Yes,
to
that
the
is
true capitalist meaning of Christmas.
That is sort of originally the B story, and it becomes the main story. The main story is that Santa has to get married before Christmas Eve, otherwise he won't be allowed to be Santa anymore. Which is why he has to create a fake version of himself so he can go down to Earth and find himself a wife.
Goodness me.
Wait, sorry. When does he start hunting for a wife?
About 2 weeks before Christmas.
Right.
It's very bad, but I
Right.
think you'll enjoy it because it's that bad.
I see.
I feel time has not been kind to the Santa Claus
Probably
franchise,
not.
and I feel.
The way the Santa was dressed at the end, you would not be able to do that now. Certainly,
I feel the more we think about this, the more the inherent horror of just the basic concept of the Santa Claus.
Oh, it's
kind of creeps in.
horrifying to start with. Like,
It is nightmare.
even on
Yeah.
a surface level, the thought of what happens. I mean, the movie opens and he kills Santa Claus, essentially.
yeah.
Like, let's just gloss over that fact that he's dead now. He's dead. But then it turns out that there's this horrifying curse that is passed on to those who murder the previous Santa Claus. What the fuck? It's a body horror film. It's a film about body horror, and you have an uncontrollable beard and growth of gut to become the next Santa. It's horrifying.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
And Liz's favourite Christmas character is the snowman.
What do you mean?
Snowman.
Wait,
You know the one.
wait.
You know the Channel 4 one.
No, but she's written.
She's written Snowmen.
Yes, but she's written the Snowmen.
Yeah. Well, there is a sequel to the Snowman called the Snowman and the Snow Pup, which is one of those ones that makes me cry because you think the dog dies,
But then it doesn't.
Yes,
but then it doesn't. It comes to life at the end and becomes a real puppy.
I've got to say, I've never really thought about what my favorite Christmas character is.
Mine is Russian Santa Claus
What?
from the
What?
Santa Claus.
Oh,
2.
okay.
Oh, I mean, I don't really think there's not really a bold cast.
What about
of
Olaf?
eclectic action figures?
Olaf.
Oh, the lovable snowman.
Yeah,
Big fan.
he's a weird
Big
weird
fan.
design, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. I've never really thought about who my favorite Christmas character is. Maybe it's
No,
Jack Skellington from The Nightmare Before
Oh
Christmas.
yeah, that's a good one.
I guess Santa Claus.
Oh, you like Santa?
From
do you? You're a
from
Santa
which
boy,
from
are
which
you?
film? Santa Claus. Santa Claus is
just-
represented in many different ways in many
is.
Christmas
Just-
films.
Just Santa.
Oh, you're a Santa boy, are you? You like one of the Santa
he's,
boys, are you?
he's all right. He's all right.
Oh, you
isn't
like
he?
Santa, do
know?
you? Oh, you think you can just like Santa, do you?
Well, here, have a whole
So-
carton of cigarettes.
Gentlemen,
Hello.
I have a shocking
Oh
announcement.
no.
It's Christmas Day.
I lured you here under false pretenses.
Uh-oh.
Oh, what?
We have a secret hate.
But we've done the hate, John.
A secret hate.
We have a secret hate which was submitted in the deepest confidence, and I hope we can continue
Is it
to
you?
protect.
Is it you?
I hope no, it's not me. It's not me. I hope we can continue to protect the identity of the individual who shared this hate. I will now recount it to the table.
Oh my goodness.
I hate the social contracts of friends of friends.
Oh.
I went to a cinema before the end times, and a friend of a friend had paid for the ticket.
Oh.
So I had my friend say she would cover it, and I would pay her back.
Okay.
Which is fine, but the friend of a friend eyed me with suspicion.
Oh no.
Oh no.
This football hooligan thug made me feel
Oh
awkward
no, it's me.
and in danger. That friend of a friend was no other than Chris.
Who do I owe money to?
I still fear his wrath. And in case Nick's wife pocketed my money and left Mr. Ray hunting repayments, I would like to remain anonymous.
Oh, I do know who this is.
Who is it?
It's Ali's colleague, no?
It's Louis. It's a friend of the show,
yeah,
Louis.
Oh, we ruined it. Oh no.
Oh, I named it. Oh, no. No.
What, does Louis owe me money?
I think he.
To be honest, I'm very good at keeping track of who owes me money. So I don't think he does.
No, so he's escaped your rage.
Yeah.
Is what
Oh, he'd
you're
know about it
saying.
if he owed me money.
You are very scary.
I feel Louis was using the hate as a kind of like a vector to transport his just general fear of you.
So what you're saying-
A lot of people do that.
He used our podcast. Is that what you're saying? He used our podcast.
He used us.
for his own ends. For his own.
To be honest, the best way to
fucking
contact me is
gratification.
via this podcast.
That's
Frankly.
true, actually. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like out the mouth of fools occasionally. Kind of wisdom.
Yeah.
Kind of
No, I
springs.
don't think Louis does owe me money because I would remember that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was the entire point. I think he just meant that he found you intimidating and surly, and he had a general fear of you. A fear.
I've never found you
of
intimidating.
your.
No, I don't think I am very intimidating. I'm quite short.
No, I don't think you're intimidating. I can say that with
Yeah.
certainty, in safety, knowing that you're behind a screen right now, and I have
in a
nothing
fight,
to fear.
in a fight, I would be worse than useless. I would go down in seconds.
Well, you'd have a certain low center of gravity, I
Yeah.
feel, which would allow you to.
You'd like
Oh,
wiggle
no,
and you'd
I-
wobble,
strike
but
upwards.
you wouldn't fall down.
I don't look very strong, and I'm much less strong than I look.
Thing is, I feel like in a fight, you'd be the kind of person who would like take an eye, and it's like I might win the fight, but I'd lose an eye, and I don't know whether that's worth that. So I'd probably just not. I'd probably
You've got
just
to weigh
not.
it up, haven't you? You'd probably just pay me
Exactly.
the $5, wouldn't you?
I'd probably just pay you the $5.
I do think.
Yeah.
I do think about it occasionally because it's like you don't want to. Nobody wants to end up in a fight. That's not a nice scenario.
No.
Sure.
But I do think to myself occasionally, like, I'm not the strongest guy in the world, but I reckon if push came to shove, I could be wily, and I reckon that like I'd lose,
Yeah,
but I'd take a knee.
that's
with
the
me.
thing. I think you just
You-
focus on one
you-
part.
Yeah.
Do as much damage as you can while you can.
But also, John, you do
Yeah.
Bushido. I
Yeah. Yeah, I think
That
you'd be
is-
quite handy on the
think
quiet,
you'd probably
John.
be all right, actually.
No, but that is. I think only a fool would say that they are good in combat because
That's
I think
true. That's true. That's true.
That's the thing is though, like I've been doing this for 10 years, but if someone ran at me with like a beer bottle in one hand and a bar stool in the other, I'd probably just start crying.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, that's just a
like
weekend in
everyone
Cheltenham.
else. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just probably just sort of like I'd collapse.
Just curl into a
I'd
ball.
try and make myself look small
Yeah.
so that they'd attack someone else instead.
You mean that guy? That's who you want? Hey, point at Chris Ray.
Yeah.
That's what my training's brought me.
Point at Chris Ray, and Chris Ray will take an eye, and then we're done.
I'll take an eye, you take a knee, and then, we'll
And
probably be all right.
And I'll just weep, I guess. I'll just
Yeah.
weep.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe like the culmination of like pork and chemicals in your body kind of just, I don't know.
They wouldn't-
renders
They
you...
wou't attack me because I exude a certain kind of pheromone, which would just sort of make them be like, no, not him.
Yeah, you've got your oil sac as well. Like,
My Greg's
Don't
my
forget.
Greg's like sponsored oil sack. Watch out, it's hot.
when when startled, it just exudes.
Yeah.
It's just
No one
suddenly
no one
there.
comes near me. I'm like an octopus on land with hot oil.
Oh.
Okay, well,
Well, on that Christmassy note,
That was
on
so
Christmassy-
Christmassy.
so
It was magical,
Christmassy.
wasn't it?
Oh man.
On that Christmassy vision, what do we think won
Christmas.
tonight? Well, yeah, it's probably Crimbus, but like love or hate.
Oh,
I think
yes.
love won because it's Christmas. Ha ha!
Yeah, I'm going to nullify Chris Ray's.
You know what's coming from
Nullify.
me, so...
Nullify.
I'm going to say love. It was love.
Love
won out.
won.
Well, just because it's Christmas, I'll say hate.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
nice.
nice.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess we should. I mean, a massive thank you to everyone who.
That was more than I was expecting. if I'm
Yeah,
honest
to be
with you.
fair,
Yeah.
people really like this is a bumper episode looking at the clock, and people really they came out, and they gave something. They gave I don't know what it was, and I don't know if it's any good, but they're certainly here.
Yeah, and like 75 episodes, gentlemen. That's quite an achievement.
That's 72 more than I was expecting.
Yeah, I mean, people have said more profound things in a smaller amount of time. So I think it's quite compelling that we've, it's hard to say something meaningful in a few words, but it's even harder to say absolute bullshit
Yeah.
for well over, I don't know, 200 hours.
It's much harder
content.
to say nothing over the course of 3 years than it is to say something in 5 minutes, certainly.
Yeah. I mean, we're here and we've achieved nothing, and
Good for us,
That's
I
something
say.
to be proud of. That's something to be proud
to-
of.
to-
Yeah,
To have
Yes.
recorded 75 episodes and to have achieved nothing, I think is probably one of the greatest achievements of mankind, and I think that can
Yeah.
go down as the description of this show, really.
So, what are your how are you gonna make Christmas kind of sing? What are your big Crimbim plans? How are you gonna make it work?
Oh, probably I don't know. Stand on the roof in my pants. Just like every day, really, I guess.
That's quite fruity. I might put pants on. That could be
Bold.
my Christmas experiment.
I might cut my pants in half and put one side on and then leave one side
Ooh.
off. Just to be the balance.
Brilliant.
Oh, I like it. Yeah, and if you're ever doing any any kind of like web conference calls with family members, you can kind of like decide
Yeah, which angle?
Yeah.
what side you're going to give
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
That's
Depending on the relative, yeah.
That's very exciting. Well, Merry Christmas, you absolute shit.
Yes,
You animals.
it's been a pleasure. Here's to another terrible year together. It's it would be a miserable thing to be hateful on our own.
And maybe the
So,
greatest gift we can get is to be in a room with one another again next year, maybe.
At some
Yeah,
point
that'll
next
be all
year.
right.
At some point, yeah.
So I guess on that magical note, have a wonderful Crimbus, everyone, or whatever you celebrate. We hope you have a lovely time
Indeed.
at home.
Woo!
At home, staring at those same walls. And what's that I hear? Is that
It's
bells?
it's Santa's
Ooh.
sleigh!
Goodness, I can hear it
Oh.
too.
No, get back!
No,
He's coming
no,
through the
Santa,
door.
no!
No, slow down! No!
So that was our episode, and my what a treat, like stories with gave or generic beige meat. So here's to you people, your loves and your hates, 3 jerks and a mic, and publishing late. To Santa's sweet bounty, that cheeky old bastard, raining down presents while probably plastered. To tinsel-wrapped treasures and heaving red socks, and whatever you wish for, we hope it's pork box.